Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Gurudev.
Kind of startup.
So then it's better. Don't take chance, Mataji. 90% when you open, not clear. File Yeah. So you just let it detect. Let it detect first. Open it. Go to PC. Be there. Should detect each other. It should detect. ये क्या मतलब जी इसका ये अच्छा ये माउस माउस
और ईमेल करो
और मे बी फाइल ट्रांसफर नहीं है फाइल ट्रांसफर ఉంటుంది షేర్ ఇట్ అయితేనా షేర్ ఇట్ ఉంటుంది చూడండి మీకు షేర్ ఇట్ ఉంటే మీరు ఇక్కడ టైప్ చేయండి షేర్ ఇట్
ఒక 5 minutes.
No, take your 10 minutes. It will take.
I'm just
But no, I'm just something is happening today. 2 minutes.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare. Gaye Krishna Hare Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare. Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Hare प्यार से कहिए, जोर से, come on. Hare Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna प्यार से गाइए कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम हरे राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम हरे राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 Hare 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 प्यार से कृष्णा हरे 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 रामा हरे रामा 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Date is different, Hare Hare. Gaunita hai. Gaunita. Gauranitai, Gauranitai, bolo. Gauranitai, Gauranitai, Shri Gauranitai, 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 Jayo Gauranitai, Gauranitai, Jayo Gauranitai, Gauranitai, Shri Gauranitai, Gauranitai, Jayo Gauranitai, Radha Govinda, Shri Radhe, Shri Radha Madan Mohan, Shri Radhe, Radha Madan Mohan, Shri Radhe, Radha Madan Mohan, Shri Radhe, Gauranitai, 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 Narasimha Dev Jai, Narasimha Dev, Shri Narasimha Dev, Shri Narasimha Dev, Gauranitai, Shri Gauranitai, Shri Gauranita, Gauranita, Jayo Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada, 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 Srila Prabhupada, Jagadguru Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada, Jagadguru Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nittai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nittai Gaura Hari Bol. Sai Gaur Pramanande, Hari Hari Bol, Harinam Sankirtan Mahayagni ki Jai.
అందరూ ఎక్కడి నుంచి Yeah. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Hare. Let us welcome the grace Karuna Mataji with three loud and enthusiastic. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Let us also welcome His Grace Srinivasacharya Prabhu and His Grace Radhika Kripa Mataji with three loud and enthusiastic.
Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna. So today, some brief introduction about Mataji. So Mataji is a disciple of His Holiness Raghunanth Maharaj. He got initiated in 2011 in Radha Madan Mohan Temple in Hyderabad, and her Krishna conscious journey started in 2007 by the mercy of her, His grace and the guidance of her Siksha Guru, His grace Kishore Prabhu. And while she was living in Michigan in America, Mataji has completed Journey of Self-Discovery, Bhagavad Gita Foundation, ISKCON, Disciple Course, Bhakti Shastri, and Girls Preaching Training Courses. Mataji is serving as an advisory board for members for Girls' Voice in Hyderabad, and she serves as Sakhi Sangha. She serves Sakhi Sangha, a forum that connects, inspires, and empowers Matajis to progress and support each other in Krishna conscious journey. She conducts online Japa conference and Japa talks daily and organizes Sakhi Sangha programs weekly. She takes online Bhagavad Gita classes to small youth and adult groups in India and abroad. She serves Shri Shri Radha Shyamsundar and Nitai Navdvip Chandra in their home. She is mother of 3 and mother-in-law of 1. She coordinates Hyderabad devotees doctors group in rendering medical services to congregations. She serves on spiritual medical platforms Global Foundation for Ethics and Spiritual Health, famously known as GFESH, and the Global Bhaktivedanta Medical Association. On the professional side, Mataji her name is Kavita Chintala, and she is a senior consultant, interventional pediatric cardiologist at Care and Continental Hospitals, Hyderabad. And she is board certified by American Academy of Pediatrics and is a fellow of American College of Cardiology. She has published many scientific articles, trained several doctors, and lectured nationally and internationally. She has conducted training workshops, medical mission trips, and free medical camps for children with heart disease. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Can all Matajis come a little friend? There will be more coming. So Mataji, as you can, as introduction has told, she deals with hearts. Right?
Today will be mind.
Today she is going to deal with mind, Mana Siksha. Right? So last week,
More than very close.
more than very close. Yeah. So the whole point is we have to shift our consciousness from the mind to the heart. Right? That is Krishna consciousness. Krishna is sitting in the heart. So last week, Mataji was discussing something on Mana Siksha when I concluded on the, aparadas as per Madhuri Kadambini. The moment I finished Taranga Rangini, immediately Mataji said, Mana Siksha is needed.
I got into trouble, Babu.
And then I requested Mataji, why don't you take a class? Are you all excited? Very good. So today the demographics have also changed, so there is a lot of inconvenience in the. Not for you all, for us it is inconvenient. Because normally Prabhuji sit here and Mataji sit here. But Mataji is woman empowerment. So very excited that we are here to hear, and I am personally very, very eager to learn Mana Siksha, and Mataji is going to take it today. So let us hear attentively, and let us take full advantage of every minute that we have. And she's taking in 2 sessions because our minds are very complicated in Kali Yuga. Actually, it takes only 1 session, but Gachibowli devotees need 2 sessions. So I told, do the surgery properly, nicely, so that we can digest what you are telling and also take the prescription. Right?
Without anesthesia.
Without anesthesia. So let us once again welcome Mataji with 3 loud and enthusiastic.
Hare Krishna. Okay. Hare Krishna, can you all hear me? This one. Hare Krishna. Please accept my humble obeisances all Puris to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, Raghunanth Prabhuji, for giving me this opportunity, or for putting me in trouble, I should say, for opening my mouth. I was more comfortable sitting in that corner hearing rather than sitting on this Vyasasana. But thank you, Prabhuji, very, very grateful. So this, I'll use it as a means to purify myself in sharing this Mana Siksha with you. I'll skip the Kirtan because I'm not very good. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Svapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakamitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So once again, I wanted to thank you all for giving me this opportunity. I've given many professional lectures. I was never nervous, but today I am nervous because there are so many learned people here in this group. So seeking your forgiveness for my actually audacity to be sitting here and sharing this with you. So I'm begging for your forgiveness before the class itself. So I'm just trying to share, this book actually, morning we do japa together. I have a small group of sakhis, we call them. So we do japa together, and from the last 2 years we've been reading books like Harinam Chintamani, all japa related books. And the last book we read, there was repeated referral to Siksha about how to control mind. So that's how I came across this book. I know there's a book like this, but I never picked up and read. So when all the sakhis said, let's read this, so we started reading. And it's been an amazing journey. Actually, we are somewhere in half of the book. Actually, we haven't not finished. So there's so much we learned through this book that, I thought it would be very nice to share it with all of you. So let us see how this goes. Actually, it is not one class. There are about 60 sessions. Siksha can go through, almost 50-60 sessions if you want to go in detail. But I'm going to try and condense into 2 sessions. So it's going to be very difficult. But let's see how the journey goes. Shri Shri Guru Charanebhyo Namaha. Shri Raghunath Das Goswami Charanebhyo Namaha. Shri Shri Krishna Chaitanya Chandraya Namaha. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Vyam Namaha. My humble obeisances to my Guru Maharaj, His Holiness Raghunath Swami. Without who, I would not be here. And also my Siksha Guru, His Grace Yoga Guru. So, Siksha is a book that is written by Sri Raghunath Das Goswami, one of the 6 Goswamis. And the picture you see on the left side is like the older version. It is Srila Bhakti Thakura has given a commentary to this Siksha written by Sri Raghunath Das Goswami many years ago. And then this book is translated from Bengali to English by Bhaktivedanta Narayana Goswami Maharaja. So that is the older version. Is it too light? I think some of the lights you can turn off.
No, we can see them.
Yeah, okay. Then the one to the right side is the newer version of Sri Siksha, this one. So it is written, same Raghunath Das Goswami's book that has, again, Bhaktivinoda Thakur gave the Bhajana commentary. It's called Bhajana Darpana. So a mirror to what Raghunath Das Goswami has written. So that is there. And then there's also Siksha Bhasha. So Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur has written poems about these chapters also. And then there are also commentaries. Why this book is so thick is there are beautiful commentaries by some contemporary acharyas. So I have here picture of Bhaktivinoda Thakura and Narayan Goswami Maharaj on the left side. So there are commentaries by Shivaram Swami Maharaj, Satchidananda Swami Maharaj, Bhakti Vigyan Maharaj, and Her Grace Urmila Devi Dasi. So all of these senior acharyas have commented on this book. And then I also owe my gratitude to Charu Chandradas and also Prasad Prabhu for sharing some of the slides. So Charu Chandradas has made some beautiful slides and I use them in my PowerPoint, so I just want to acknowledge them. So I'm sure you all know about Sri Raghunath Das Goswami. So he's one of the 6 Goswamis and was born in a very rich Kayast family. His parents, his uncles are all very rich. But right from very young age, he was in association with Srila Haridas Thakur and several other senior acharyas. So he was very devoted right from a very young age. And despite that, because he was showing such devotion actually, his parents got him married also at a very young age. But he was so much into devotion that he would just run away from his home multiple times he ran away to join Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And then even after marriage, he left his wife and then he went to Jagannath Puri. And then, of course, he didn't spend a lot of time with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave this Bhakti Rasa to Swarup Damodar Goswami, and through Swarup Damodar Goswami, Raghunath Goswami has come to understand what Raga Bhakti is. So he came back to Vraja and he got association of Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami, and so in Vrindavan he writes this Manasiksha. And then when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left this world, he was in intense separation. Although it's not a physical separation because he didn't spend much time physically, but he was so attached to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that he had intense separation. In fact, he wanted to jump from Govardhan Hill, but then Rupa and Sanatana Goswamis prevented that and he came back. So he made his kutir. So this Bhajana kutir is on the banks of Radhakund. So he spent many years, and at the age of 102, he left his body by entering the waters of Radhakund. So we have the Samadhi and Samadhi Mandir on the banks of Radhakund. So this is briefly about Raghunath Goswami. So this book is divided into an introduction, preface, and then there are 12 verses. So we'll go one by one. So the question may come, why do we need Manasiksha? Anybody wants to? We can make this interactive. Anybody can tell why we need Siksha? So Manasiksha means Siksha to our mind. So why do we need Siksha to our mind? Our minds are good, right? Yes, Prabhu.
Because mind is very difficult to control, and we have at least I have personal realization. Every time I try to control it, it controls me. So that's why
Yes. So I think, yeah.
I can.
Yes.
Manayeva Manushanam Karanam Bandhamokhe. It is through Manas only you either get bondage or liberation. So it's important to train the mind in the right direction.
Yes. Anybody else?
Mind is your best.
Always distracts.
Yes.
Here Arjuna is very difficult to control.
Yes.
So Krishna replied,
Yeah.
Krishna replied, yeah, it is possible to practice through sadhana.
Yes. So all of you are correct. So I think every morning I feel like, just like you probably saw some movies where the king is going for a war, right? He wears all the kavach and then goes to a war. So it's like that. I think every morning when we sit for japa, we are doing a war, right, with the mind. So I think like that, okay, now I have to, fight with my mind for japa. So I think that's what a mind is. So Krishna, as we all know, says that, mind can be your best friend or your worst enemy. So we are living, so this mind is inside us. So we don't want to be living with an enemy, right? Just like, we don't want to be, don't want enemies around us. And here we are living with this enemy day after day. So we want to befriend this mind. So Manasiksha helps you to befriend your mind. And then the other reasons are, there are many verses in Bhagavad Gita where Krishna says, Mayeva mana athatsva. And he also says, Maya sakta mana partha. So Krishna is telling us to fix our minds on him. So just fix your mind upon me, he says, and you will live in me always without a doubt. So Bhagavad Gita 12.8 clearly says, then Maya sakta mana partha. Always, mind, please attach your mind to me. Do yoga in full consciousness of me, and then you can come to me. So if we somehow or the other fix our mind on Krishna, then the problem is solved. Like we are back to Godhead. And then so it's very important. Even antakale chamameva smaran mukta kalevaram. So if you have to do smarana of Krishna, it doesn't say kirtana of Krishna, smarana. So smarana is a faculty of the mind. So somehow or the other in our mind we have to have Krishna at all times. So for all these reasons, Manasiksha is very important. And as Prabhuji pointed, mind is so fickle for everybody, including such a great warrior as Arjuna. He himself said, Chanchalam hi mana Krishna, paramati balavatrina, tasyaham nigraham manne, vayoriva sudushkaram. So Krishna, I can even control the wind, but I cannot control my mind. So if such a great warrior like Arjuna is saying this, we are very small in front of him. So this daily fight with our mind goes on for all of us. So as a solution, what does Krishna say? He says, Asamshay mahabaho mano durnigraham chalam abhyasena tu kaunteya vairagyena cha grihate. So the solution that Krishna is giving for this chanchala mind that is very fickle, very disturbed all the time, he says two things, right? Abhyasenam and vairagya. So two solutions Krishna is giving here. So Manasiksha actually deals with this. So it is giving abhyasa. So it is giving abhyasa to the mind. So it tells you, as we go through the verses, we know how it is going to train your mind to fix on Krishna. And then Vairagyam. So it also tells you to renounce the matter. So Abhyasa is to attach to Krishna and Vairagya is to detach from Krishna. So these two things Siksha focuses. So whatever is Anukul for Bhakti, Srila Raghunath Das Goswami is telling us, and whatever is Pratikul, he is asking us to do Vairagya of that. So attached to Krishna and detached to matter is the one of the essences of Siksha. And then also we have our Goswamis, where Narottam Das sings Rupa Raghunatha Pade Hoibe Akuti Kabe Hame Bujhavo Se Yugala Piriti Rupa Raghunatha Pade Rahu Mora Asha Prarthana Karoye Sada Narottama Dasa. So I think we also want to live at the feet of Goswamis, right? Because they are pure devotees of Krishna. So how do we do that? So when we hear from the Goswamis or Acharyas, we are actually sitting at their lotus feet. That's what they say. For whether it is a guru or senior acharya or Goswamis, we may not have that physical proximity of actually being there, sitting at their lotus feet and serving. But what acharyas are saying, they are giving us a solution that when we hear their instructions, it is as good as sitting at the lotus feet of the Goswamis. And then if you actually put it in acharan, so he gives an instruction and you're putting it in acharan, then it is actually serving them. So here we have an opportunity to serve Srila Raghunath Das Goswami because we can't physically serve him. So when we take Siksha instructions and put them in acharan, we are actually serving Srila Raghunath Das Goswami. So like I said, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu through Sri Swarup Damodar Goswami taught Raghunath Das Goswami all the secrets and mystery of Harinama Bhajana and also of Vraja pastimes of Sri Radha Krishna. So in Vraja, Raghunath Das Goswami worshipped Krishna and wrote this Siksha. So Siksha has 12 verses. It goes from 1 to 12. And these 12 verses are so beautiful and so sublime that they are considered the wealth and life of all Gaudiya Vaishnavas. Okay? So this book is meant for those of us, we are Gaudiya Vaishnavas, so in the Gaudiya Vaishnava line of tradition. So Srila Raghunath Das Goswami, although he is a perfected individual, he took the role of a sadhaka and then he's kind of teaching his own mind. So Siksha is about his own mind. So he's giving a set of instructions to his own mind, but through that he's giving us the instructions. So he's playing the role of a sadhaka for us, even though he's a perfected individual. So all these verses are, oh mind, he says, oh mind, do this, oh mind, don't do this. So it is a set of instructions for the mind. So Siksha literally also means it is instructions to the mind. And this book is called a Paddhati. Paddhati means what? Pada means foot and Hati means progress. So it is Bhaktivinoda Thakur in Jaiva writes that Siksha is a step-by-step guide for attaining Raganuga Bhakti. So we'll go into a little bit detail of what Raganuga Bhakti is and Vaidhi Bhakti is. But it is a step-by-step guide, it's like a guidebook to full Krishna consciousness. So it is a book that takes you from the beginning of Bhakti, so for when you start Bhakti in the neophyte phase, all the way to perfection and attaining Krishna Prema, it takes you through this. And while Rupa Goswami in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu tells us what to do, right? For devotion service, he tells you how to do what to do in devotion service, how to progress in devotion service or your bhajana. Raghunath Das Goswami tells us how to do it. So it's a Paddhati means he's teaching us how to do it. So we probably here and there we learned what to do from Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, but here it is how to do. So it's a very practical book, and that's why I thought it's very helpful for all of us in doing our sadhana. So this book answers one essential spiritual question. So we've all come to Bhakti, right? So what is the first stage of Bhakti? First stage of Bhakti, Shraddha, right? So what do you do after you get Shraddha? That is an essential question. So when a living entity's prime duty, what is the living entity's prime duty? When he develops heartfelt faith in the topics of Krishna consciousness, what do you do? So this question means how do you progress? Means where do you go from Shraddha? That is a question that Siksha answers. And then this is also called the Prayojan Shastra. So I'm sure some of you may be familiar, others may not be. There are three stages, right, of Bhakti. So, or a relationship to Krishna. One is Sambandha, means what is our relationship with Krishna. The first question is what is our relationship with Krishna, that is sambandha. And then abhideya is what do you do? You know, now you know the relationship. What is our relationship with Krishna? Shivera Swarupoy Nityara Krishna Das. So we know the sambandha. Then what do? We have to do something, right? So we have an abhideya. So what is the process? What do we do once we understand that sambandha? That is abhideya. And then prayojana is what is the ultimate goal, right? Any process we do in this life, both materially and spiritually, has to have a goal. So that is called prayojana. So all the shastras, if you see, are actually, can be divided into, it belongs to sambandha, abhideya or prayojana. So this Siksha is a prayojana shastra. Means it takes you till the ultimate goal. So it starts from beginner's level, but it takes you to the ultimate goal of, what is the ultimate goal? Krishna Prema. So it takes you to that. Any other examples of prayojana shastras, anybody knows? Other prayojana shastras? Everything. Prayojana Shastra specifically? No. What is Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu? Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu also goes through Abhideya and Prayojana. The nectar of instruction? Abhideya. Mostly Abhideya, but there's also a little bit of Prayojana in the end. And then the pure Prayojana Shastras are Madhurya Kadambini and Vilapa Kusumanjali. They are very esoteric books, so recommendation is not to read them until you are a very advanced stage. And then, what is the other book that gives instructions to mind? Any other books that give you what to do, instructions, how to do things in Bhakti? To develop prema, prayojan. Nectar of instruction. Nectar of instruction. So it is instructions. And then there are some, about mind is Siksha primarily, the nectar of instruction. And then there is also a book called Vaishnava He by His Holiness Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So that's another book. So this book is primarily teaching Raganuga Bhakti. So spontaneous devotional service to the Lord. And so one of the key purposes why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appears is to teach the path of Raganuga Bhakti. So it says, Vrachera Nirmala Raga Suni Bhaktagana Raga Marke Bhajayena Chadi Dharma Karma. So Chaitanya Charitamrita is saying that by hearing about pure love of residents of Vraja, devotees will worship me on the path of spontaneous love. So this spontaneous love is the Raga Marga that we are going to focus on. And here we have to, he's saying, Chadi Dharma Karma. So we have to abandon the rituals of religiosity and fruitive activity. So this is, pure love of Krishna in the spontaneous form. We'll go into those details. So what I'm trying to say is in the Gaudiya Vaishnava tradition that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu represents is our Acharya. It is he came down to actually one is of course to feel the sweetness of what Radharani's love is for him. So a sense of mellows to feel that he comes. And then he also wanted to propagate devotional service on the platform of Ragatmika Bhakti. Okay, so this we have to remember, especially for us in the Gaudiya Vaishnavas. So like I said, it is a inspirational book for all the Gaudiya Vaishnava community. And if we allow our mind to associate with this beautiful instructions, then the senior, sadhus have said that our existence will be transformed. In fact, His Holiness Sachinanda Swami, after reading this book, he said, I found miracles happening just by instructing my mind with these verses. So it is really a transformational book. And then who has adhikar to read the Siksha? Some of these books are very heavy and high. So who has the adhikar? Although it is a Prayojan Shastra, they say that who has Shraddha, means who has come through faith. I mean, of course, all of us are here because we have Shraddha. So we can all read. And then you have Shraddha and you want to develop Krishna Prema. So you want to get the prayojan of being in this bhakti, then it is meant for you. So it is meant for sadhakas specifically who are on the Raganuga Marga, and also for serious practitioners of Vaidhi Bhakti who want to come to Raga Bhakti. So what is Vaidhi Bhakti? Vaidhi Bhakti is bhakti that we do based on certain rules and regulations. So Vidhi, it's called Vidhi, for rules and regulations. So we may have come to Bhakti for different reasons, right? So this Vidhi Bhakti, we follow a set of rules and regulations. And what is the motivation for Vidhi Bhakti? Why do we take Vidhi Bhakti? What majority of us are doing is Vidhi Bhakti only. But why? What is the motivation for doing this kind of Bhakti? To move, but why did we take it in the first place? Or why are we following him? Why are you getting up and doing japa every morning? I'm not attracted spontaneously to Harinama. I don't know if anybody is, but why are we doing japa? Right. So there's a motivation, right? So the motivation is usually rules and regulations, or we know that it is the right thing to do, or Guru has told us. So one of these things will be a motivation factor for doing Vidhi Bhakti. Whereas Raga Bhakti, none of these rules and regulations are applicable. It is only pure spontaneous love for Krishna. Okay, so Raga Marg means pure, spontaneous, unmotivated, without any reason. It is pure love for Krishna. So that is Raga Bhakti. To just give a very, not a very proper example, but a materialistic example, Mataji was sharing. So she met one devotee boy, and he was like 28, 29, and he was not getting married. So she asked, why are you not getting married? He was a Tamilian or something. So he said, I'm not finding any suitable girl. So like that he waited many years for a girl. And then next year Mataji came and he introduced his wife. Some Bengali Mataji introduced and said she married her. So he said, why Prabhu, you said you didn't meet anybody, you didn't like anybody. So he said, I don't know, I just saw her and I fell in love. So it's like that. So no rhyme or reason. I mean, a Tamil Brahmin marrying a Bengali Mataji in one day he met. So like that, very spontaneous attraction. So no rhyme or reason. It's not based on logic. So Vidhi Bhakti is based on logic, but Raga Bhakti is pure, intense attraction to Krishna. So that is Raga Bhakti. So, before we go into the verse 1, some caution. So, going through Siksha is not going to be easy. Okay, it is like a dissection. I don't know if any doctors learned how we dissect, how we do surgery of the heart. It's really surgery of the heart. So, it's a very deep psychological analysis of our mind. Some facts we don't want to accept. There will be so much here, like, you go to your closet when somebody is coming, you want the room clean, so you take and dump everything in your closet, right? And when you open the closet, how that garbage falls. So that's how I felt when I was reading Siksha. All my garbage is coming out. So like that, it's a deep psychological analysis, and all of you will have some wounds. Okay, so it's going to hurt your heart and mind listening to the words of Raghunanth Goswami. So it is like that. You want to cry actually some days. Bhakti Thakur says, Amara Jivan Sada Papera, Punya Nahi Lesha. So like that we'll feel, my life is full of, sinful activities. I didn't do any punya. So that's how this is going to, open your wounds. So be ready for that. It's a roller coaster ride. But having said that, still we should read this, because what is the prayojan by reading this book? Yes. So if you want, how many want Krishna Prem here? How many are willing to get dissected? Nicely cut your hearts open. I can do that. I can physically do that. Yeah. So be ready for that. So the prayojan is beautiful. So the Falashruti, the verse 12 discusses the Falashruti. It says, I'm going to read this because we need to understand what the Falashruti is before going through all these verses. So it says, becoming a follower of Sri Rupa and his companions, one who with a sweet voice loudly recites these 11 supreme verses, which give instructions to the mind and strives to understand all of their meanings completely. So we have to recite these 11 verses loudly, which give instruction to mind and understand all their meanings completely. What happens? Obtains the incomparable jewel of worshipping Sri Radha Krishna in the forests of Gokula. How many want to do that? How many want to worship Sri Radha Krishna in Gokula? That's it? Only 1, 2, 3? Come on! Yes, I go! Yes. So it's going to give you that. So hold on. Yeah. So some of just one Siksha at a glance. So like I said, 12 is Falashruti, which we just read, and verse 1 to 3 will take you through what are the qualifications for spontaneous attraction of Vraja Krishna. So we discussed what Raganuga Bhakti is. So there is an inner path and an outer path. Outer path is, what externally we do. Outer path may look just like Vaidhi Bhakti. Like, you can do deity worship, you can be chanting. So everything looks similar to Vaidhi Bhakti. But the internal attachment is different for Radha Bhakti. So what is the qualification to inner path of attraction to Vraja Krishna is what verse 1 to 3 take you through. Then 4 to 7 are the real dissectors. So it will take you to the process of dissecting your heart. So it will bring out all the anarthas out of your heart. And so how to eliminate these obstacles. So we will realize that we have many anarthas, many obstacles to bhakti. So he is going to discuss how to overcome these obstacles, both internal and external. And then verses 8 to 11 will tell us how to engage in our eternal spiritual position, which is what? Our eternal spiritual position of Nitya Krishna Das, through taking shelter, meditating and serving Krishna's internal or Haladini potency. So 8 to 11 kind of tell you about the internal way of worshipping Radha Krishna, and 4 to 7 take you through eliminating these obstacles and anarthas that we have. So let us look at verse 1. These verses are hard. They are, for me, they are sung in the meter called Shikharini, same as Jagannath Ashtakam. So anybody is familiar, wants to sing or join me? I'm just going to try. Yeah, you try, Prabhu, with me. Gurav Goshte Goshtalayishu Sujani Bhu Suragane Swamantre Srinami Vrajana Vayuva Dvandva Sharane Sadadamba Hitva Pururati Mapurvam Atitaram Aye Swantar Pratas Chatubhira Biyache Dritapada. Not bad, we did good. I'm struggling through this, yeah. So pay attention to, so how these verses are discussed is, every line is sort of, elaborated. So, oh dear brother, oh mind. So, I Swantar Bhrata, which is in the 4th line, means, oh mind. Okay, mind, Bhrata is what? Brother. So, he's calling his mind brother. And Sada Damba Hitva is, give up all pride. The 3rd line, Sada Damba Hitva, he is giving up all pride. Please develop unprecedented and excessive attachment. So, Ratim Apurvam Atitara, I'll explain these words again. So, he's saying develop attachment. So, give up pride and develop attachment to who? There is a list of 8 things or personalities that we have to develop attachment, which are Sri Guru, Sri Vrindavana, Vrajavasis, Vaishnavas, Brahmanas, confidential mantra and holy names of Sri Sri Radha Krishna, and also to the process of surrendering to the youthful couple in Vraja. Okay, and he's saying, holding your feet, I beseech you with sweet words. Okay, so this is a summary of the verse. So what he's saying is, so there are a few things here. You have to surrender to some things. Just not, we think, whenever we think of surrender to Guru and to Krishna. But here, Raghunath Goswami is saying there are many more things that you want to surrender and develop attachment to. And then develop intense, apurvam, atitaram, develop intense attachment to Krishna, Radha Krishna. And then how do you do this? You have to give up your pride. So, dambam, sada dambam hitva. So, you have to give up your pride. So, this is the essence of this verse. So, before going into verse 1 detail, Siksha, you have to ask some questions so that, it helps you follow that trail, what we are doing. So, I said that we all have Shraddha, right? We started with having Shraddha. So, Shraddha in what do we have? The first stage of Bhakti is what? Shraddha. Shraddha in what? Faith in? Shastra. So that Shraddha starts with, Shraddha, yes, you have faith in Shastra, but how does it come? How does Shraddha come? How does Shraddha come? No. Bhajana Kriya comes later, after Shraddha. Shraddha, adhau Shraddha, tatha sadhustanga, tatha Bhajana Kriya. So first only Shraddha comes.
Associated devotees.
Yes. So even though Sadhusanga is a 3rd stage, but I believe we get Shraddha from some Vaishnava, either directly or indirectly. there is some Sukruti also, but that Sukruti is also through a Vaishnava. We may not know, we may not understand. Like, I don't know from who I got faith. So somehow, some Vaishnava we must have met, or we must have heard him share something. So like that, Ajnata means we don't know. But it is association of Vaishnava that gives us Shraddha. And then we go through Sadhu Sangha and Bhajana Kriya. So now the question was, what is my duty when I develop Shraddha, right? So then you have to take shelter of Krishna. So the answer is you have to take shelter of Krishna. And then how to take shelter, we need to understand, right? What is shelter, how to take shelter, what is the process? And the process here, Raghunath Das Goswami is saying, by developing love for Krishna. So we all have to develop love for Krishna, and of course this needs Krishna's mercy. And then how to develop this love for Krishna? Again, Siksha is saying you have to develop love for 8 other things, which we will discuss. And then how will I develop love for these things? Essential quality is you have to leave up your pride. So that's what he is discussing. So Adhav Shraddha. Shraddha means actually Shra means heart and Dha means to give. So Shraddha actually means to give your heart. So you have to give your heart to Krishna is what Shraddha means. So that is a prerequisite for going through the 9-fold limbs of Bhakti. So this faith we get through Sadhu Sangha, known or unknown. So Ajnata Sukruti means you don't know. Indirectly contacting a Vaishnava is Ajnata Sukruti, you can get faith. Or directly contacting Vaishnavas also you can get faith. And then, so this association, how does it act? They're saying, so how does a contact with Vaishnava give us Shraddha? So what Raghunath Das Goswami says is, it I believe minimizes our reaction to past sinful activities. So we may not even know how that purification happened, but such association will minimize and give a purified heart, little bit purification, where then we develop faith in this Shastra. So then we get that, because we see so many people, they don't have faith. I mean, they don't believe in Shastras. So that faith is not something that, we should be proud of. Oh, I have faith in Shastra. No. Acharyas are saying that faith also is being given by some Vaishnavas only. So then only we have the taste for hearing Shastra and we develop faith in reading Shastra. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur in his Bhajana Darpana commentary, he says, so first you develop Shraddha to Shastra and also to faith in the path of Bhakti that we are going. Preeti Bhakti here can be read as Raga Bhakti only. And then what do you do the second step after Shraddha? Although those 9 limbs we know, but here Raghunath Das Goswami is saying, after you get faith, what do you do? What did we all do? Okay, I have faith in Shastra, I have faith in the holy name. What did we do? Diksha, yes. So then we accept shelter of Guru, and then we take Diksha. And then we take the Diksha mantra that enables us to worship Sri Radha and Krishna. And then the third stage would be to develop deep attachment. So we have to develop attachment to this, chanting the mantras and serving the holy name, which I'm hoping we are all doing. And then also, then the next step would be to develop Sharanagati. Sharanagati or complete surrender to the lotus feet of divine couple, knowing them to be your life and soul. And then, so Sharanagati, there are many definitions. I don't want to go into because that's a whole class if I go into Sharanagati. But Bhaktivinoda Thakur in the context of Siksha gives a very simple definition of Sharanagati. So he says, Sharanagati is our external behavior that is reflective of your internal attachment to Krishna. I will repeat that. It is an external behavior of your internal attachment to Krishna. Okay, so that is Sharanagati. So that means the more you are attached inside to Radha and Krishna, your external indication is there that you are attached and surrendered to Krishna. So just like Acharya seniors always give this example. So there should be your internal attachment and external behavior should be parallel. You can't say, because many times many people say, oh, I have so much love for God. Like when you're going in train or traveling, many people say that. In fact, Prabhuji met one Christian who said, who was like drinking cigarette and drinking alcohol, and is saying, I have so much love for Jesus. So like that, so that sort of behavior doesn't match is what Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying. So your external behavior should always go parallel. One more example I wanted to share. So you meet people who claim that they have a lot of love for God, whichever Jesus or Allah or whoever, and then their external behavior is completely incongruous. So that is not surrender, is what Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying. like people are very strange. I was coming in train last time from Govardhan, and I was chanting in the morning at 5 o'clock, and there was one yoga teacher in my train, and he said, "Why are you chanting in the morning? Why are you disturbing Krishna?" So I'm like, I was completely blown now. I really didn't know what kind of an answer I should give. So he was, for everything I do, he was, commenting in a different way. So it's very hard to argue with such people. So like that, people claim they love, and he said something again. I want to share with you. He said, I said I'm doing japa. So he said, जप करना नहीं चाहिए, जप होना चाहिए. Think about it. Like that he said. So I stopped talking to him. I went to another place and started chanting. So like that, people claim they love God, but then they do different things. So, simple example, household example that we hear is when you love your child, you will do something, right? So you can't say I love you. Like in US, I see a lot. Every day the husband will say I love you and the wife will say I love you. So many times they do a phone call, I love you. Kuch kaam nahi hota. The wife doesn't cook for the husband doesn't do anything for the wife, but then I love you. So this is what is going on. So that's not congruous. So like that, so if you love your child, you will show it externally. You'll cook something, you'll take care of something. So that's what Bhakti Thakur is saying. So externally you have to do devotional service. So it's not enough to do devotion. It should translate into devotional service. So so to do this, so again it's yes, we have to develop attachment to Krishna, but along with Krishna, we have to develop attachment to many more people. And so Guru, Goshte, Goshta Laishu, Sujana Bhusaragani. So who is Guru? Guru is your Guru. So after receiving the mantra, we should worship both, Siksha Guru and Diksha Guru. So Diksha Guru is your initiating Guru and Siksha Guru are the instructing Gurus. And Diksha Guru is usually one, Siksha Gurus can be multiple. And then not just worship, but you should also develop pure attachment to their lotus feet. So again, Guru is a big topic, so I'm not going to go to all details, but what they're trying to say is we should have a lot of attachment with our Guru. So not just respect, sometimes we have a lot of awe and respect. So we see Guru with a lot of awe and respect, which yes, it should be there. But again, using our intelligence, they say that you have to make your Guru as your well-wisher and friend. So even Diksha Guru, they are actually saying it's, we see them from far, we pay dandavats and we look at them in awe and reverence. That is not enough, as they said. So you have to develop a relationship. It may not be a physical relationship, but at least, a heart-to-heart connection has to be there. It doesn't mean physical relationship. Actually, the Gurus have this Bhakti Shakti in their heart, and when we do sadhana and follow the instructions, we get that part of Bhakti Shakti. So there is this connection. Actually, Srila Prabhupada used to say, whenever he went to like another country, his disciples would say, we'll miss you and all that. But Srila Prabhupada always used to say, we are connected heart to heart. So you sit here and do japa, and I sit there and do japa, and our hearts are connected. Actually, so that Bhakti Shakti is there, so that connection is there. So we have to start developing this love for Guru also. Actually, I'm trying to tell myself, even I took initiation, but I never felt close to my Guru. So it has to be something done very consciously. You have to work on it. So you start loving your Guru, thinking is your friend, and especially Siksha Gurus. We have to start connecting with them. Sometimes only when there's a trouble we call them, but it's not like that they're saying. So you develop a nice relationship, a friendly relationship with Siksha Gurus and Diksha Gurus. Sometimes your Diksha Guru can be also Siksha Guru. I mean, some people, those who are fortunate, can get the Siksha also from Diksha Gurus. So we should develop this not just respect, but friendship also. Then second, you have to develop Goshta. Goshta is what? Goshta is the Vrajadhama. So all places connected to Vrindavan like Gokula, Govardhana, Nandishvara, Shamakund, Yavat, all these places where Lord has done his pastimes in the Vrajamandala, you have to be attached. So how much attachment do we have to these places, especially Vrindavan? So this is Raga Bhakti we are talking, so we have to have a special attachment to Vrindavan. So what are we attached to? Home, yes. Ladies, homes, children, kitchen. So we are all attached to all these things. So we have a lot of attachment to our home. I am talking to myself. So you go out for 3-4 days and you start missing your home, you start missing your children. So we have a lot of attachment to all of these things. So instead of what Bhaktivinoda Thakur says is, if you just redirect that same attachment, that same feeling towards Goshtha. Goshtha is the Vraja. Then you'll advance very nicely. So if you're attached to Krishna's home, okay. So Krishna's home, we all know the places, and also Mataji was sharing, like we go to Dhamma, we want to just visit temples and do a checklist sort of a thing. It's not like that. You have to develop an attachment to the place, and also attachment means you want the dham also to be clean. Like it's not enough. At home also we keep the temple room clean, but the rest of the house is dirty. Not like that, because the entire home belongs to your deities. Like that dham belongs to Krishna. So she said, be aware of what is our attitude towards dham. So you have to start developing an attachment. And then this does not have to be physical. And many of us may not be able to go to Vrindavan or Mayapur, but it is in mind also you can be there. So when you have to meditate on these places, even though physically you may not be able to go. So physical or mentally you have to be connected to Goshtha. Then Goshthalaya. What is Goshthalaya? Is residents of Vraja. So Vrajavasis are called Goshthalai. So who reside in Vraja, and not everybody who is physically in Vrindavan is a Vrajavasi. They have to be there for the purpose of pleasing the Lord through devotional service. So just because physically you've rented a house and you're living there, it doesn't make you Vrajavasi. So they are connected intimately through devotional service, completely unmotivated, unselfish devotional service to Krishna they are doing in Vrindavan. So these are Vrajavasis. And then if you are physically in Vraja and then not connected mentally, then actually you could be physically sitting in Radha Kund and thinking of some nonsense. Then actually that becomes like a Naraka Kund. So it is mentally, where are you? Being here mentally, are we in Vrindavan? So that is what we should meditate on. And so you could be in any part of the world but be a Vrajvasi. So your attitude and your connection, internal connection to the place is what matters in being a Vrajvasi. And then, so these Goshthalai who are in true sense Vrajvasis are described as Uttama Bhagavatas or pure devotees. So Raghunath Goswami also has a classification here for Uttama Bhagavatas, Kanishta and Madhyama. It is a little bit different from what we read in Nectar of Instruction. There is no time to go through all that, but here he says whoever is a Vrajvasi connected heart to heart with Vraja Dham is a Uttama Bhagavata. Then Sujana. Sujana, also you have to attach to Sujanas. Who are these? These are Vaishnavas. And Vaishnavas of any sampradaya. So it doesn't have to be Gaudiyas. Sometimes we have this separation. I'm only going to talk to Gaudiya Vaishnavas. I'm not going to respect other gurus and all. No. So they're saying if any other Vaishnava sampradaya, all of them are Sujana. So whether they are in Vrajadhama or not, but they are bona fide devotees of Lord. So you should always respect these people. And I like what Urmila Mataji said. She said all lovers of God should develop attachment to all lovers of God. Nice, no? All lovers of God should develop attachment to all lovers of God. So whatever sampradaya they are in, we should develop attachment. And actually, if I see my Guru Maharaj, Radhanath Maharaj, he connects with every sampradaya so nicely. So I think that I take a lot of inspiration from him. So we have to go beyond these lines of sampradaya and schools. And then so these Vaishnavas are pure devotees, and these are described as Madhyama Bhagavatas, intermediate devotees. And also this Sujana, the Vaishnava worship and surrender also includes this is Tadiya Upasana. Tadiya means anybody who is connected to Krishna. In fact, these Vaishnavas, worshipping them and attaching to them is sometimes more important than attaching to Krishna. Because Lord Shiva says, right, Aradhanam Sarvesham Vishnu Aradhanam Paratram Devi Tadiya Upasanam. So, more important than attaching to Krishna is attaching to the Vaishnavas, to the lovers of Krishna, because that is what pleases Krishna. So this Tadiya Upasana is also a big topic. So we should do that. So we should respect all Vaishnavas because that pleases Krishna. Then the next is Bhu Suragana. Bhu Suragana are the Brahmanas. So these are not Vaishnavas, these are the regular Brahmanas or the Varnashrama who are could be teachers, priests, intellectuals, scholars, but they are firmly fixed in the scriptural duties. So they are following the Varnashrama Dharma, but they are also teaching scripture to everybody. So they should also be, actually they represent God, I believe, God's walking on earth, because they impart Vedic knowledge. So anybody who is imparting Vedic knowledge becomes a Bhu Suragana, and we should always respect them also. So they are in the Kanishta Bhagavata stage. So all these three levels of Bhagavatas we should respect. And then the other offering of respect is to Swamantra. So Swamantra is what? The Diksha mantra we get. It could be, the first initiation or second initiation, Gayatri mantra or Kama Gayatri. Why? Because these mantras will do Divya Gyan Te Prakashito. So they are actually, it's not just any mundane, syllable repeating, not ritualistic mantras. The Guru injects Brahmanishta into the mantra. So we have to deeply meditate on these. So it's not a ritualistic repetition of some syllables. We have to deeply meditate. And because we don't have Shraddha and knowledge, I think we tend to take these mantras easily, but they have great potency. I'll skip this for time. And then we have to attach to Shri Harinama. So this is a prerequisite to attaining Krishna Priti Bhakti. And we know that a name is more merciful than Krishna. So, and then they are non-different. The Nam and Namini are non-different. So, and then they describe it as Sarva Vedeshu Drishyate. So everything is there in the Maha Mantra. And of course, Nama we can go into a lot of detail, but it is we have to start developing more attachment to the holy name, more attraction to the holy name. And then there are it should get attached to the names of Krishna also. So there are some primary names and some secondary names. So what are the primary names? What makes them primary and what makes them secondary?
No, like something related to his Govinda, Gopala.
And what makes them primary?
His pastime.
All are Krishna's names only. So anything that is in relation with spiritual world and spiritual function is primary. Anything that is related to material world, Krishna's name is secondary. So Patita Pavana, Paramatma, these are all secondary names. Then Gopala, Sri Krishna, Radhakanta, Gopijana Vallabha, all these are primary names. So Sri Raghunath Goswami is saying you should take shelter of the Lord's primary names. And then Vraja Nava Yuva Dvandve Sharana. So we have to also take shelter of the Vraja Nava Yuva Dvandva. So who is Vraja Nava Yuva Dvandva? This is Radha Krishna. So at least Raga Bhakti that Raghunath Das Goswami is recommending, we should take exclusive shelter of Vraja Radha Krishna. It is not Dwaraka Krishna or Mathura Krishna. I will tell you why also. So the goal for us is to develop Rati. Rati for Radha Krishna means intense attachment is Rati. So we have to develop this, and this attachment should be deep, concentrated and intense and continuous. So it's not like, one day I love you Krishna and next day I'm like busy in doing my things. So it should be continuous, intense, excessive, concentrated Rati. That is, very sublime, and it should be free from Janma Karma Anavata, Janma Karma Anavata. So Jnana Karma Anavata. Then, so this Gaudiya tradition that is being taught here in this book is to direct all devotees to the loving mood of inhabitants of Vrindavana and ultimately to engage in service of Sri Radha and Krishna. So, why Vraja Krishna? That question comes. Anybody? Why? So, which Krishna we should worship?
Raja Krishna.
Yeah. So, keynote verse that we always say is Aradhya Bhagavan Vrajesha Tanya Tadhama Vrindavanam. So, Aradhya Bhagavan. Who is our Aradhya Bhagavan for Gaudiya Vaishnavas? Is Vrajesha Tanya. So, Vrindavan Krishna Tadhama Vrindavanam, who lives in Vrindavan. So, this is important. So, I was just looking at why this is so important. So, Lord has many potencies, right? Many energies. So, Bhagavan is Purna, right? Complete. But in this complete form also, so there is, so he has multiple potencies. If all the potencies are manifested completely, fully, all potencies, then it's called Purnatama. If some potencies are manifested fully, he is Purnatara. And if some potencies are manifested partially, he is Purna. Okay. So, example of Purna forms of Krishna are like the Chaturvyuha. The four-handed forms are Purna. Then Purnatara is Dwaraka Krishna. Okay. And Purnatama is Shyamasundara Krishna, Vraja Krishna, Gopi Vesha Krishna. So because this Gopi Vesha Krishna has full potencies manifested fully, all potencies manifested fully, he is the Purnatama Krishna. So he is the Sri Gopavesha Krishna. This is who we have to get attached. So this Krishna has separated into Shakti and Shaktiman. So Shakti and Shaktiman, so the absolute truth, which is, this Gopavesha Krishna is the absolute truth, and he is both male and female. So that's why if you want to completely worship the absolute truth, we have to worship both Radharani and Krishna. So that is considered the complete worship. And this attachment that we want to develop to Sri Sri Radha Krishna of Vraja is the highest goal for Gaudiya Vaishnavas. And this is a rare gift that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given us. So no other Sampradaya focuses so much on the Vraja Radha Krishna as the Gaudiya Sampradaya. So this is our Sampradaya. So this Rati you have to develop towards Vraja Krishna, and that is the Radhanuga Bhakti. If it is spontaneous, it is Radhanuga Bhakti. So then he's saying develop Apurvarati to this divine couple. So we inherently have, right? We have love for Krishna, all of us, because the soul has love for Krishna. So that is called Atmarati or Shuddharati. So what we have, the love, the inherent love that exists in all our hearts is called Atmarati or Shuddharati. But right now we are not able to see why, because we are covered. We are covered by Maya because of this dull matter. So this Shuddharati is covered by this Maya, and then so we are not able to do this Priti Bhakti. But when you do things that will get this cover away, then we will have this emotion. That emotion will come back and we'll develop this Apurvarati. So if we do things that increase our attachment to Radha Krishna, then this Apurvarati will develop. So this Maya covering will go. So this is what we have to do. And so how do we attach means we have to decrease our material designations and increase our spiritual designations. So instead of thinking I am this body, I am this husband, I am this wife, we start to think as I am Krishna's devotee or Krishna's servant. So increase your spiritual designation, decrease your material designations. And then how our attachment should be, of course there are many verses of how we can attach to Krishna, but this one is Kunti Maharani says Tvai me nanya vishya Matir Madhupate Sakrit Ratim Udavatat Atha Gange Vaga Udanvati. So what does she say? Krishna, O Lord of Madhu, she compares, she says, let my mind always flow towards your lotus feet. Just like, how Ganga flows down with force down towards the ocean, nothing will stop that Ganga. So external obstacles like rocks and all cannot stop the Ganga. She flows past those. And then internally also Ganga is not holding herself back. This is compared to, these external internal obstacles we have in our life to going towards this bhakti. So like Ganga flows towards the ocean, Kunti Maharani says, let my mind always flow towards you. And Kulashekar Alvar also says, let my mind be entangled in the, like a swan entangles in the lotus. Suppose there's water, there are lotuses, and then swans, how their necks entangled to the stems of the lotus. So Kulashekar Alvar says, let my mind entangle with you like that, Krishna. So this is the mode we have to be in, increase our attachment. And then how? Atitaram Kuru. So what can we do? Atitaram Kuru means do. What should you do? Intense endeavor. So you have to do intense endeavor. So you have to feel enthusiastic and take shelter. Means do everything that Raghunanth Goswami is saying. You cannot be complacent and say, I am not getting this rati, I am not getting this attachment. So our own endeavors plus the mercy of Guru and Krishna will increase our spiritual potency to attach to Raja Krishna. And then the next one is Sada Damba Hitva. So for all this to be possible, what you have to do, what is the solution that Raghunanth Goswami is giving? He is giving us that to give up pride. So this Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Satya Kabunai, this means this we already have this love for Krishna. So we have this prema inside us. We also have the Sthai Bhava, the Bhava that comes in the advanced stages of Bhakti. We already have that, but it is covered by Avidya. So Avidya is what? The false identity that I am this body. So it's called Asmita. This false identity is called Asmita means Asmi. Aham Brahmasmi. So I am this. I am God. So that false ego is manifesting as 6 anarthas, and the subtlest of that is the pride. So Damba. So this Damba is covering us from, is preventing us from understanding our original spiritual nature. And then Raghunanth Goswami also says Sada Dambam Hitva. Dambam means pride, Hitva means give up. So he's saying give up your pride. Why Sada? Why Sada is saying? Always. Means it's coming back. right? Because if you give up your pride once, it's not going to come back, it's going to come back. So keep on doing it, your pride will come back. Just like, if you hit one head of Ravan, another head comes, like that, I believe our pride, even if we willingly, give up our pride, it again comes back. So keep on doing this, sada dambam hitva. And then Mataji also said, because why is it so important? Because where there is pride, there can't be love. So love for Krishna and pride are completely incompatible. So when your heart is filled with pride, then Radha Krishna don't come inside that heart. So it's very important to give up pride. And then pride has many aspects to it. There are varieties of dambam. Okay, so one is illusion. I'll go fast to this. One is illusion, one is offenses, avidya, kapatata or cheating, deviousness, and duplicity. So all these are various forms of pride. We think pride is one type, like I'm proud of something I have, but there are many varieties. And what is duplicity? Anybody wants to say what duplicity is?
Hypocrisy. Hypocrisy.
What is hypocrisy?
Something inside, something outside.
Something inside, something outside. Anybody else? How Bhaktivinoda Thakur defines, it was mind blowing. He said, any other motive besides devotional service is duplicity. Any other motive besides devotional service is duplicity. So I was like stunned. So like that. So he gives very, very, very beautiful definition. So are you all duplicitous? Yes. So yes. Right. So how do you get over this duplicity or this pride? How do we get over it? So one solution here, again no time to do it. All of us know Krishna Leelas, right? The demon killing. And I believe all these demon killings are examples of this pride, killing of pride. So for example, Trinavarta has pride for scholarship. Kalya has pride because of his deviousness. Arishtasura is proud of his religious principles. Shaktasura because of his residual bad habits. Yamala Arjuna are proud because of aristocracy. Vedic Brahmanas are proud of their Varnashram Dharma. Keshi is proud because it has an elevated position. So all these demons, beautiful explanations they give. So all these demons represent one kind of pride. So if we read these pastimes, then our pride will come down. So giving up pride, how to give up pride is given in central theme of Siksha. So the verses we are going to read ahead, it will tell you the solutions of how to give up pride. And then one interesting thing I found very useful is, we always think our mind is inside, right? So what Raghunath Goswami is saying is, think like I'm not my mind. So be a spectator to your mind. So like mind is outside and I'm seeing what it is doing. So then you can relate more and then you can correct it more. Once we think we are our mind, then we tend to neglect what our mind is doing. So he's saying, look at the mind as an observer, and that helps. And then like I said, spiritualize all your attachments, like family attachment, move it to Krishna, and then surrender to Krishna and surrender to Guru. And then if you read these pastimes, so all these will give up pride, and then we'll go into further. Then he says, Aye Swantar Bhatas Chatubhir Adhiyache Dritapada. So Aye Swantar Bhata. So he's calling the mind as, oh brother, referring his mind, and then he's saying Dritapada means holding your feet. So Raghunath Goswami is being very sweet to his mind. Right? So he's being very sweet. He's very gently, humbly, like coaxing and convincing him. Whereas Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur in his book Vaishnava Hai, he's the opposite. He says, get up every morning and beat your mind with a broomstick 100 times, and before you sleep, beat your mind with chappal 100 times. So that is Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur. So he takes a very firm stand on the mind, whereas Raghunath Goswami takes a very soft side to his mind. So that's verse 1. So anybody quickly summarize verse 1?
Attachment to
Attachment to 8 things.
that happens with
Yes.
pride. Giving up pride.
Guru. Who all you have to attach? Guru, Raja, Rajvasis, Vaishnavas, Brahmanas. Holy names. All are Vaishnavas. Yeah, all three. To mantra, Radha Krishna. So 8 things you have to attach. Okay. So a little bit homework for all of you. You can write and send it to me, or if you feel too shy, you can keep it to yourself. So see where your pride is coming, in what forms your pride is coming. We all have pride. Who doesn't have pride here? So let us write. It's a homework for us. What situations are we being proud about, and how it's affecting our family, work, and our devotional service. So one exercise you can do, and then out of these 8 things, pick up 1 or 2 and see how you can increase your attachment. Right? Like since I read this, I am doing things little differently. I'm trying intensely to attach to my guru, which I never did. So I'm meditating more on him. I'm doing like some Sarvadhavana prayers the moment I get up. I look at his picture before I sleep. So some practical things I'm doing. It is actually helping. So after this, please acharan merako. So you can all write down from this what we can do, because it's a practical book. We can do how to attach. Siksha Guru also, I was like anytime there's a need, especially for Mataji, I hesitate to call my Siksha Guru Yugal Kishore Prabhuji, but after reading this book I told Prabhuji I'm going to call you frequently. So like that, so you have to start practically applying, because they give us so much knowledge and guidance. I think you take your bead bag and then you vanish from Siksha Gurus, that's not going to work. That's not going to attach you to anybody. So let's practically do this. Then we go to verse 2. Na dharmam shruti ganay niruktam kilakuro vraje Radha Krishna prachura paricharyami hatanu Sachi Sunu Nandishwara Pati Sutate Guruvaram Mukunda Prishtatve Smara Paramachasram Nanumana. So the second verse says, O mind, so it gets a little bit more intense than the first one. O mind, do not perform either dharma or adharma that is mentioned in the Shrutis. Instead, engage in intense service to Radha Krishna here in Vraja. Also, constantly remember the son of Sachi, who is the son of Lord Nandishwara, and remember the Guru, who is most dear to Mukunda. So there are 4 things here Raghunath Goswami is talking. One is give up dharma and adharma. I'll go into details. Second is do intense service to Radha Krishna in Vraja. Third is remember that Sachi Sunu, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna. And then remember Guru as the beloved of Krishna. So these 4 things Raghunath Das Goswami is saying. So it's little. How many think doing dharma is good? Dharma is good, right? We've all been doing. So here he's saying don't perform dharma and adharma. What do you think of it? Raghunath Das Goswami is saying don't do dharma and adharma.
Other things besides Bhakti and Karuna. Don't involve too much in other things. Kula dharma.
Yes.
There is dharma at a bodily level, there is dharma at a soul level. So maybe it is, I'm just guessing that dharma performed for bodily things may not be attached to that. Do it but don't be attached to that. But try to be more attached to soul.
If you try to connect back to the previous one, not having pride, people who do dharma may have pride saying that I am dharmic. So that pride also is an obstacle in this path.
Yes, true. Yeah. So we all do dharma because without doing dharma, see, all activities fall into 2 classes, dharma and adharma. Like our regular daily activities that we do, nitya karma, naimitika karma. There are 3 types of karmas. Nitya karma is the daily activities that we do. Naimitika is the rarely, like Shrad, festivals, those are Naimitika karmas. And then Kamya karma is, of course, you do for your own desire. So Kamya karma is not recommended, but Nitya karma, Naimitika karma, we all have to do. And so they generate karmic reactions, right? Both the good karma and bad karma will generate karmic reactions. So here they are saying leave these, and we'll see how they want it to be done. So why instead of that attach yourself to Radha Krishna. So normally we are very motivated, right, by being dharmic. We are proud, right? Sometimes we are very dharmic, we think, so it makes us proud, like you said. And but both dharma and adharma, both these have an identity, right? If you're considering if doing dharma makes you proud, then it's a false identity. Of course, and doing a dharma makes you proud also, it's a false identity, and both these will generate karmic reactions. So what is the solution you should think? For example, how they describe is, suppose, so do you do everything out of dharma? What else should be your motivation to do something? Suppose at home, we are cooking for our children. So if you think I'm a nice mom, I'm cooking for my child, that is, your dharmic identity. So sometimes we want to do that, right? I want to treat my patients because I want to be called a good doctor. So that is at the level of dharma. So they're saying, don't do that. You cook for your child because you love your child. So in society, when we are doing these things, do it for love of Krishna, for God, not that you want to be called a dharmic individual. So it's a step higher. All these years doing dharma only is a big thing. We've lived such maybe sinful lives, and doing dharma is only a big thing. Now Raghunanth Goswami is saying and telling, don't do dharma, but that's what it is. So why? Because it is still I on an I platform. I am dharmic. Right? So that gives you a false identity. So Raghunanth Goswami is saying you should give up that identity. So it's a second level of giving up pride. So first is Dambam Hitva we read. This is the second level of giving up pride, where dharmic activities also you give up his sin. So what do we do? What is the solution? So Krishna says, when you're a neophyte, again, I'm sorry, there are different levels of bhaktas here, devotees here. This is a little advanced scripture. Actually, I was some things, maybe too high or too esoteric, but don't be discouraged. Take it as an information. I mean, it may be sometimes going above your head, or completely undoing what you've been told so far. But this is a very advanced scripture. Usually recommended for somebody that 10 years or so in the bhakti. But I know it's a mixed crowd, so I will not try to make it too esoteric. But for someone who's a neophyte, then who's new, then you should continue doing your material activities. So for one, Krishna says work is said to be the means. So for one who's a neophyte, work is the means, and for one who's advanced, cessation of work is the means, right? And then again, we should know what action, inaction, and forbidden action is. That's what Krishna is saying. So there are two types of people in this world. One are the Ajna and one are the Vigya. So ignorant and learned. So ignorant means spiritually ignorant. Means they do. They are not very aware of the spiritual identity. So they do. So the Vedic injunctions have given dharma and adharma. Why? So that people are dharmic as opposed to adharmic. So this dharma and adharma has been given so that people do dharmic activities and avoid adharmic activities. But we know that even if you do pious activities, good karma, you still come back, right? Brahma bhuvana loka punaravartino arjuna. So if you do pious activities, yes, you get good credit, you go to heavenly planets, but once that karma is over, you come back to this material world. So pious activities and dharmic activities do not give you freedom from this birth and death cycle. So whereas a learned person, a Vigya means a spiritually learned person, will understand that he is a Krishna Das. His spiritual identity is that he is a Das. So they realize their spiritual identity and then they act on the platform of Atmarati, means they start doing things that are pleasant to the Lord, that are pleasing to the Lord. So that becomes akarma. Right? So Raghunanth Goswami here in this verse is telling that we should come to this platform, the second, the Vigya platform, where we start doing things for pleasure of Krishna, so it becomes akarma. So and until that detachment comes from fruitive activity, Krishna says one must carry out his daily and obligatory activities. So it's not like, today we'll read this and we're going to suddenly drop it. Until that realization comes that, we have to start working on an akarma platform. We have to start working solely for the pleasure of the Supreme Lord. Until then, we'll be continuing to do. But gradually, we have to start giving some of it to Krishna. Like, sarva dharman parityaja. So here also Krishna is saying, leave all the dharmas. So here also dharma you should leave. So until we come to that platform of, Ragatmika platform or Atmarati, we do, then what happens? There's a secret agent. What a secret agent principle means? One example they gave, suppose there's a spy that wants to go into another country. So he won't go to the visa office and say, I'm a spy from this country, right? So what will he do? He'll pretend to be a teacher or something. Then he will go into the country and he will be working as a teacher, but less working as a teacher, more working inside as a spy. So like that we should be. So externally to this world, we should be working as a teacher. Means, jo zarurat hai karo, go to your job, come back, cook and come back. But inside, internally, you be a spy, means you cultivate your attachment to Krishna. Externally, you start doing things like what the world is seeing, what the world wants you to do. So this is so externally be, do action, but internally be a sadhu. Sadhu means attachment. So then once you are no longer, once you have this level where you are doing everything for the pleasure of Krishna, then you can leave this dependency on Varnashrama Dharma. Until then you have to do it, but then once you get to that level, you can get rid of Dharma, Varnashrama, and then you'll be eligible for living in Vrajadhama. That's what they said. And then the third point he makes is, so if the question may come, because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is embodiment of Sri Radha Krishna, why should I worship the divine couple? Why not worship Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Anybody has this question? Why am I not worshipping Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Why is Raghunath Goswami telling worship Radha Krishna? So that may be a question. And then should I worship both Radha Krishna and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu separately? So these two may be questions. So for that, Raghunath Goswami is saying Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself has solved this problem, because he came in the mood of a devotee and he himself demonstrated how to do bhakti to Krishna, right? So he came in the mood of Radharani and he taught us how to be a devotee of Krishna. So here also we can be a devotee of Krishna and worship Sri Radha Krishna Yugala. So that's what he's saying. And then, but before rendering service to the divine couple, we should always meditate on the spiritual master and Gauranga Mahaprabhu. And then when we worship Mahaprabhu, we have to understand that you are none other than Radha Krishna. So we have to serve in this mode. Those of us who have deities of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, so you are none other than Radha Krishna and serve them in the mood of dasya. And then with this sentiment is fully mature, I believe Mahaprabhu will grant his darshana in the form of Radha Krishna. Okay, and then when we understand that Sri Krishna is non-different from Sri Gaurahari, then we are able to remember Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu while worshipping Sri Krishna. So both are non-different basically. So you have to get that maturity to understand that both are non-different. And then the last one he says, Guru Varam Mukunda Preshtve. So how should we, so Raghunath Goswami is addressing, how should we see the Guru as? So you should see Guru as very dear to Mukunda. Mukunda Preshtve. Preshtatve. Preshtatve means beloved. So he's very dear to Mukunda. Mukunda is one deliverer of sins, right? So spiritual master is very dear to Krishna, Mukunda, who bestows liberation. So devotee should think Sri Krishna, who is an ocean of mercy, has sent his very dear associate as my spiritual master in order to deliver me. Then it is therefore fully appropriate to consider spiritual master as an intimate servant of Srimati Radhika. So you have to think that my Guru is beloved to Krishna, and then he is an intimate servant of Srimati Radhika. So it says Acharya Mam Vijaniyat, right? So the spiritual master should be considered as a Swarupa of Bhagavan. We do in Samsara Dhamana, right? Sakshat Haritvena. So Guru is Sakshat Haritvena. And like what Balavan Prabhuji once said, you should think Guru is my Krishna. Okay, Guru is my Krishna. But then Krishna also says in this Haribhakti Vilasa, Pratamam tu gurum puja tataschaiva mamarchanam kurvan siddhim avapnoti hi anyatha nishphalam bhavet. So devotee who worships the spiritual master first and then worships me attains perfection. It is fruitless to worship me alone. So we should all remember this. Always, go through spiritual master. And this also very consciously I'm doing, because sometimes, in a rush you think, oh, you are completely, I have access to Radha Krishna. No, you have to go through spiritual master. And that's what pleases Krishna actually. And then Guru is equally worshipable as Lord. So two things you should not do. You cannot reject Bhagavan and completely worship your Guru, or vice versa. You cannot reject Guru and completely worship Radha Krishna. So both should happen hand in hand. And this beautiful verse from Jayadakhyana Samhita I'll explain. So you are the lotus flower in this picture. You are the lotus flower. Krishna is the sunlight. And the lotus flower is in water, that is Guru. Right? So if Guru is not there, if water is not there, the sunlight will burn the lotus. So if Guru is not there, even though Krishna is there, he will burn you. And vice versa. If Guru is there, the water is there, but there is no sunlight absolutely, then also the lotus will wilt. So you need both. So I thought this example was very beautiful. So then they say, Braja Radha Krishna Prachura Paricharyai Mhetanu. So next step, you should do Paricharyam. What is Paricharyam? Service. So engage in intense service. Prachura matra bolte hai na. So intense service. You engage in intense service. And there are 6 components of Sri Radha Krishna worship in Vraja. One is offering obeisances and touching the dust of Vrindavan at every step with a feeling of humility. Then offering prayers that encourage devotion in the heart. Then offering to do something for Krishna as our service. Offering the fruits of all our activities. Learning how to meditate on the lotus feet of divine couple or Smaranam. and hearing the topic of the Lord sufficiently. So these are the 6 ways you can engage in Radha Krishna worship. And then of course it should be Anya Vilashita Shunyam Jnana Karmadhyanavritam Anukulena Krishna Anushilana Bhakti Uttama. So what is Uttama Bhakti? Rupa Goswami defines in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu as Anya Vilashita Shunyam. So you should not have any other desire, devoid of all material desires, all jnana, all karma, all philosophy and fruitive action. So anything that is favorable for Krishna we should do, and anything that is unfavorable for Krishna we should leave. So that is Uttama Bhakti. So this finishes verse 2. A quick comparison of verse 1 and 2. In verse 1, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was not mentioned. Among those 8, if you notice, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was not mentioned. But here he's saying, Raghunanth Goswami is saying, oh, because time. Okay, I'll go slow. Okay, I'll go slow. So, sorry. So, how should your Paricharyam worship be? Anya Vilashita Shunyam Jnana Karmadi Anavrutam. So, no other motive, unmotivated, uninterrupted devotion service to Krishna is your Uttama Bhakti. And then Jnana Karmadi Anavrutam means should be free from Jnana. Any monistic philosophy, any impersonal philosophy, it should be free from, and karma. So karma is what? Fruits of action. So when you're doing something and expecting a return of those fruits, such activity should be devoid. So this is Uttama Bhakti according to Rupa Goswami in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. So then, there are so many verses you can add to how you do this Prachura Paricharyayam, but because of lack of time I cut short. So just noticing verse 1 and 2. In verse 1, we read the 8 things we have to get attached to. In that, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was not there. But here, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is here, and Sachi same as son of Nanda. And then, first verse says intense attachment to Guru. And here, single pointed attachment to Radha Krishna is being mentioned. And then first verse, they said see Guru as a friend. And here, is saying see Guru as Mukunda's friend. So a little, upgradation. And then first verse says give up pride. And then here it's a deeper level of giving up pride, because now you are giving up dharma and adharma, you are giving up all your false identity. So it's a step up. So verse 2 is a step up from verse 1, and verse 3 will be much more. Verse 3, Yadi chera vasam vrajabhavi saragam pratichanu yuvat vandvam tachet paricharitum arada vilashe Swarupam Shirupam Sadanamiha Tasyagrajamapi Sputam Prerna Nityam Smaranama Tadatvam Srinumana. So in verse 3 again he's saying, Yadichir means, O mind, please listen. Please listen. If you desire to reside in Raja with the Raga, birth after birth, and if you wish to directly serve the youthful divine couple, then you must constantly and specifically meditate upon and offer respect with love unto Swarupa Damodara, Sri Rupa and his brother Sanatana and their associates. I'll break down this verse. So, Yadichir Avasam, Vraja Bhuvi Saragam Pratijanu. So, if you want to reside in Vraja with Saragam, Ragam is Raga, with love, Pratijanur means life after life. If you want to live in Vraja, life after life, with love to Krishna, then yuva dvandam tachet paricharitum arad abhilash, and you wish to do seva to Radha Krishna, then what you should do? Swarupam Sri Rupam Saganam. So Swarup Damodar Goswami, Sri Rupa Goswami, Saganam. Ganam means all their associates. So to all these associates, what you should do? You should do Premna Nityam Smaranama. So you should worship them, meditate upon them, and offer respect to these Goswamis. Right? So this is a summary of this verse. So how to develop this raga? So there's a ninefold progression, right? From Shraddha to Prema, right? Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha, Bhajana Kriya, Anartha Nivrutti, Nishtha, Ruchi, Asakti, Bhava and Prema. So this is the ninefold process. So raga means we should do with raga. So Raga Bhakti is being mentioned here. So what is Raga? Anybody wants to say what is Raga? Intense love, yes. Spontaneous love, anybody else? What is Raga? Anybody? So Raga is defined as an unquenchable loving thirst for the object of one's affection, here Sri Krishna, that gives rise to spontaneous and intense absorption in that object. So there are a couple things. So it has to be unquenchable, means completely, that thirst won't be quenched for the object of affection. And here the object of affection is Krishna. And what does it lead to? It should give intense absorption. That the continuous, concentrated, uninterrupted absorption of Krishna is raga. So where is this seen? This kind of raga? Where is this kind of raga to Krishna is seen? Brajvasis, yes. So yes. So this kind of bhakti is seen in eternal inhabitants of Braja. This could be, animals, cows, deers, parrots, birds, animals, humans. So this kind of bhakti is called ragatmika bhakti. So ragatmika bhakti is that bhakti which is filled with raga, that is seen actually only in residents of Braja, is ragatmika bhakti. And then bhakti that follows this path of ragatmika is called raganuga bhakti. So what I heard was, we cannot be ragatmika bhaktas. We can only be raganuga bhaktas. Means we are following the ragatmika bhaktas. Ragatmika bhaktas have to be in Braja, born with Sri Krishna. So only they are ragatmika bhaktas. We are not. But we can become raganuga bhaktas following the ragatmika marg. Okay. So saragam. So here this was Raghunanth Goswami is saying, do raganuga bhakti. Right? So develop raga to Krishna. So how many types of bhakti are there? Or stages of bhakti. Not the 9 stages. There are 3 stages of bhakti. 3 types of bhakti. So one is sadhana bhakti, bhava bhakti, prema bhakti. Okay? And sadhana bhakti, you should remember this. Sadhana bhakti, next step is bhava bhakti, then prema bhakti. So sadhana bhakti has vaidhi bhakti and raganuga bhakti. So vaidhi bhakti is regulative. So rules and regulations are there. That which we do, that bhakti we do based on rules and regulations, vaidhi bhakti. And that bhakti we do spontaneously, spontaneous attraction to Krishna is raganuga bhakti. So in vaidhi bhakti, you engage senses and mind, which is impelled by those things that I told, either scriptures or your guru's instructions. You do this bhakti. And then raganuga bhakti is you have this spontaneous attraction to Krishna, how these Brajavasis have for Krishna. So you want to become like one of them. Like, you want to become like, Subala, or become like Yashoda. So you want to become, Vatsalya Prem. So you want to become like one of the Ragatmika devotees, that is Raganuga Bhakti, and it is spontaneous. It is not by any rule, no logic to why you should like Krishna like this. So it is not based on logic, it is based on a spontaneous attraction. So what is the difference? Can both these lead to Bhava Bhakti? Anybody knows? Can Vaidhi Bhakti lead to Bhava Bhakti?
Vaidhi Bhakti, we have a lot of adherence to rules, regulations, and it's fear based, whereas Raga Bhakti is love based.
Yes, but what is the outcome of each? What is the outcome of Vaidhi Bhakti? What is the outcome of Raganuga Bhakti? The motivation is different. Motivation is rules and regulations for Vaidhi Bhakti, spontaneous love for Krishna and Raganuga Bhakti. But what about the goal? Going on further, what happens to Vaidhi Bhakti and Raganuga Bhakti? Leads to Bhava Bhakti. This also leads to Bhava Bhakti. So what is the difference? Prema, does both lead to Prema? Krishna Prema?
Raganuga Bhakti leads to Prema Bhakti. Vaidhi Bhakti will lead to Raga Bhakti.
No, directly also you can go. There's one difference between the two. Anybody knows? So I also learned. So if you go through Vaidhi Bhakti, it takes a long time because of all those steps. You have to go through Asakti, Ruchi, Anartha Nivrutti, all those stages. So it takes a long time. And then the goal means even if you develop Krishna Prema from Vaidhi Bhakti, the ultimate goal can be at the most Dwaraka. It is not Vraja. Only through Raganuga Marga you can go to Vraja. So how many want to go to Vraja? How many want to go to Dwaraka? Nobody wants to go to Dwaraka? You want to go to Dwaraka? Okay. So this difference I didn't know. It was mind blowing for me also. Yeah. So that is the difference. And in Bhava Bhakti there are stages. Prema Bhakti, I won't go through all that. So the main difference is this. Yeah. So Vaidhi leads to Aishwarya, means either Dwaraka or Vaikuntha, and then Raga Anugam Bhakti matures into Prema. And then, yeah, right. So, then Prema has several stages, we'll skip all that. So this is a nice chart. If somebody wants to go through the different phases of Bhakti, I think it's on ISKCON Desire Tree, I can also share. So Bhakti is divided into Sadhana Bhakti, which is Vaidhi and Raganuga, and Ragatmika Bhakti. So it goes through a whole full level of what all Bhakti can be, and skip that. So how do you do this Raganuga Bhajana? How do you do Raganuga Bhajana? Krishnam Smaran Janam Chasya Preshtham Nija Samhitam Tat Tat Katha Ratas Chasau Kuryad Vasam Braje Sada. So how do you do this Raganuga Bhajana? You should constantly remember Nandanandana, Sri Nandanandana, and the beloved associates of Nandanandana, and we should always reside in Vraja, either mentally or physically, and that's how you come into this mood of Raganuga Bhajana. And I actually was talking to somebody. It can happen, usually happens in 10 to 12 years of doing Vaidhi Bhakti. It doesn't happen early in your Bhakti state if you want to become Raganuga, but you should all discuss it with your Siksha Gurus to see if you're eligible for Raganuga Bhakti. So there's a process of becoming a Raganuga Bhakta also. So how do you do this Raganuga Bhajana? So Seva Sadhaka Rupena Siddha Rupena Chatrahi Tad Bhava Lipsuna Karya Vraja Loka Sarataha. So a Sadhaka, if you want to become Raganuga Bhaktas, you have to do Seva for Krishna. Any questions here? Yeah. So you should do Seva in two forms. Sadhaka Rupa and Siddha Rupa. Sadhaka Rupa means what we have this body, we have to do worship of Radha Krishna. And then what is Siddha Rupa? Siddha Rupa is your eternal form, that we were there in the spiritual world before getting this material body. So we all have a Siddha Rupa that will become evident during Bhava or Prema stage. And in that Siddha Rupa also, some people know, like our Acharyas and our Guru Maharajas know probably their Siddha Rupas. So in that Siddha Rupa also, you have to do service. So in Sadhaka Rupa, you have to do under the guidance of the Goswamis. So that is where we are coming. So you have to do under the guidance of Goswamis. In the Siddha Rupa, of course, you will do it under the guidance of Sri Radha and the Manjaris and associates. And then Pratijanu. So Krishna uses, Raghunanth Goswami uses the word Pratijanu. So what does Pratijanu means? Pratijanu means life after life. So sometimes we are very impatient, right, to get the benefits. Like, I chanted 64 rounds and I should get Krishna Prema, right? Or, I distributed 10 Bhagavad Gitas today, I should get Krishna Prema. So we have all these feelings in our heart. But what they're saying is it takes lifetimes, life after life, life after life. Are we willing to wait? How many of us are willing to wait? Lifetimes for Krishna Prema? Nobody is willing to wait? So patience is required. So how Rukmini waits, right? Rukmini, what does she write in her letter to Krishna? She says, I'll give up this body and for lifetimes, she says something like, many lifetimes. Many lifetimes I'll wait for you, but I want you as a husband. So that is, Rukmini is willing to wait many times, many lifetimes for Krishna. And then we all know the story of Mukunda Dutt, right? Mukunda Dutt is associated with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He's a very good singer. So there are many times, he used to sing in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Sankirtan, but he was little, he used to associate with Mayavadi philosophers, which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not approve. So once there was Kirtan going on and he didn't allow Mukunda Dutt to come in. And then somebody asked, how long will it take for Mukunda Dutt to get your mercy? So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said 1 million lifetimes. So hearing this, Mukunda Dutt started dancing. So he danced out of ecstasy, out of happiness. Why means he said, at least after 1 million lifetimes, I'll get the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So that is patience. So that's how. And then this story of a monk also I was reading. So there was this monk on that right side, where he was a young monk in monastery. And then he got somehow attracted to a girl. And he left the monastery for some time. But of course, in a month, he realized that, this material world is not for me. And then came back to the monastery. So the seniors in the monastery did not accept him. they wouldn't take him back into the monastery. So he didn't say like, okay, they're not taking him, go find another monastery. He didn't do that. So he waited outside the door in the cold, in the winter snow. 3-4 days he would wait, and every few hours he would come and knock the door and ask them to, will you please accept me back? So like that many days he did, without food, without water. He just stayed at the doorstep waiting for him to be accepted. Looking at his patience and perseverance, then the monastery took him back. So like that we should all be very patient. Another thing beautifully Mataji said was, why should we be patient? Because we offended Krishna, right? In our relationship with Krishna, who is the offender and who is the offended? Did Krishna offend us or we offended Krishna? We offended Krishna, right? Suppose in a household there's a husband and wife. Suppose the husband went away with an illicit relationship and is wanting to come back to the wife. So who gets to decide whether she wants him back? The wife, right? Because he offended the wife, then wife gets to decide whether he wants to accept the wife or what condition she wants, like that. So the husband cannot claim like, oh, वैसे कैसे नहीं लोगे वापिस, ऐसा कुछ बोलने का नहीं है chance. So like that, we have offended Krishna. So now we can't go and make claims. ऐसे कैसे you won't accept me, Krishna. So whether it takes lifetimes or how much ever sadhana, we have to wait for Krishna. So that is pratijanu. So this is a deeper level of humility. So now from dambam hitva to giving up dharma to developing this intense humility to wait for Krishna, life after life is what they are saying. So especially if you want, Raghunanth Bhakti, it may take many lifetimes. But one thing, the pure devotees actually don't mind waiting life after life. Why? Because something like Raghunanth Goswami, he actually didn't mind. Because he was experiencing so much bliss in Vrindavan because of his association with Krishna, he didn't mind, coming back again and again. So most of these pure devotees, they don't mind taking birth after birth until they are purified, until they are perfected. So they stay in Vrindavan, associate with Vaishnavas and get perfected, and then until they attain prema or until they get darshan of the Lord, they don't mind coming back again to this. Then it says, Swarupam Sri Rupam Saganam Iha Tasyagrajam Api. So what should we do? He's saying we have to get attached to Sri Rupa Goswami, Swarup Damodar Goswami and all their associates. Why should we get attached to these people? Anybody? Why? Because they are the holders of this pure Vraja Bhakti. So they are the guardians of Prema. So this Vraja Prema, Raganuga Prema that we're discussing, the 6 Goswamis are the treasurers of it. Because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who gave this pure Bhakti, this Preeti Bhakti, he gave it to the Goswamis. So Sri Rupa Goswami is actually called the Rasacharya. So of this Rasa, this Bhakti Rasa, he gave a roadmap or guidebook for this. And then Raghunanth Goswami is telling us how to do it. So they are actually storekeepers of this topmost prema. So only they can give us this Vraja prema, and that's why we have to take their shelter. So what should we do? So if we want to directly serve the divine couple, we should constantly, nityam, with love, with prema, distinctly remember and bow down to Sri Swarupa Damodar Goswami, who gave the knowledge to Raghunanth Goswami. Then Sri Rupa Goswami, who is the Acharya, Rasacharya, and Saganam means all their associates, all their followers, and also Tasyagrajam. Agrajam means brother. So Rupa Goswami is the elder brother, Sanatana Goswami. So to all these people we have to bow down. So the question may come, do sampradayas other than Gaudiya Sampradaya, can you get Ragatmika Bhakti? Very difficult, they say. Because the treasure house is with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and the Gaudiya tradition has this Krishna Prema. So if somebody is an outside of Gaudiya Vaishnava, it's very difficult. There are some examples, but they say it's very difficult. 8 o'clock. Should I continue? Yeah? No, Prabhuji wanted, Prabhuji said 8 o'clock. Leelam Prabhu is here? No? Okay. So verse 4. I'll do verse 4 and stop. Asadvata Vishya Visrijamati Sarvasvaharani Katamukti Vyagyana Shunu Kila Sarvatmakilani Apityakta Lakshmi Patirati Mito Vyomanayanim Vraje Radha Krishna Swarati Manidalpam Bhajamana. So here, again he is saying, O mind, reject the prostitute of mundane talk who steals one's intelligence. Do not listen to talk about mukti, which is like a tigress who will completely devour your very existence. You must even abandon any attachment towards Lakshmipati, which leads to Vaikuntha. You should simply worship Radha, Krishna and Braja, who will award you gem of the attachment for them. So here, 2-3 things are being said. One is give up mundane talk, okay, gossip. We'll see why and how. Then second thing is saying, do not talk about mukti. So give up mundane talk, do not talk about mukti, and also do not attach to Lakshmipati, Vishnu. And then simply worship Radha Krishna. So these 4 things are mentioned here. So let us see. So what is Asat Varta Vesha? Asat Varta means something that is not true. Asat. So Sat is true, something that is Asat. So this speech is very important, right? Speech started the creation. So speech is very powerful. And so somebody could be, very well dressed, but if they open their mouth, sometimes they can appear very foolish, right? So speech reflects your inner character. So you have to be very careful of what we talk. And speech shows who we are and also actually makes who we are. So what we utter is very important to pay attention to, what we say. So this gossip, they say prajalpa. What is called prajalpa is the most gross form of pride. So it's a form of pride. Why? Because it is obvious to others, right? When you say something, prajalpa, appreciating yourself or criticizing somebody. So prajalpa can be talking bad about somebody, gossip, just mundane gossip. No Krishna in that. Criticism of somebody or even self-glorification. Even self-glorification is considered prajalpa. And what is the worst form of prajalpa? Anybody? Worst form of prajalpa.
Thinking about that in the mind also. Finding fault.
Finding fault, yes. Finding fault is the worst kind of prajalpa. Of course, that leads to Vaishnava. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to say, Gramya katha na smibe, Gramya varta na kahibe. Means Gramya katha means what? Like village talk, no? Like, in the villages they used to sit in the evenings, so baramde mein jo bethte bahar, ఏమంటారు అరుగు మీద కూర్చొని మాట్లాడతారు అది గ్రామ్య కథ సో డోంట్ డూ చైతన్య మహాప్రభు said గ్రామ్య కథ డోంట్ డూ గ్రామ్య కథ డోంట్ హియర్ okay then so she instructed Raghunath Das Goswami actually don't do all this village talk. Why? Because it is very mundane. So it is either about mundane religiosity, economic, so it is usually dharma, artha, kama, moksha. The topics of these gramya katha is dharma, artha, kama, moksha. So he said leave that. Then asat. So what all come into this category? Anybody wants to give some examples of this prajalpa? What all constitutes prajalpa? But more specifically, some examples.
Talking about a position,
Politics.
Glorifying yourself, politics, yes. What else? Durandhar. Lot of talk about Durandhar nowadays. That is the prajalpa. I don't want it, but it's coming into the, some phone or something like that. So, any speech that derides the service of spiritual master, Vaishnavas or Krishna is prajalpa. Okay? So any talk that derides, that is negative about any Vaishnava, especially Guru and Krishna, is prajalpa. Then study of scriptures that bestow only temporary insignificant benefits. Like you don't want to advance in your bhakti, you just want to read it for the knowledge of it. Like jnana, that one. And then greed for wealth is also coming under prajalpa. Then anybody who associates intimately with women, and then men attached to women. Actually, more dangerous than attaching to women is, I believe, attaching to men who is attached to women, because that keeps continuing. So that is prajalpa. And then householders, Vaishnavas, who are also selfishly attached to their wives. Anybody like that? Feeling a lot of attachment from their husband. So that's also prajalpa. And then householders or renunciates who associate with women on the name of Harikatha. Or the intent is lusty, but on the name of book distribution or Harikatha, they want to associate with women, or on the name of fundraising. Actually, that comes in next chapter also. How we are deceiving ourselves. So they are associating with women on the pretext of on a spiritual excuse, but then the motive is lusty. So that is prajalpa. And then desire to lead an easy and comfortable life also. So, we want to be very comfortable. We don't want to leave our comfort zone. You want a nice flat, a nice car, and just being, easy and comfortable in your life is also prajalpa. And then when we pursue these things with great attachment, it is called asadvarta. So anything asat is asadvarta. So they're calling this mundane talk as what? Vesha. So Raghunath Goswami from here on, this is verse 4, from 4 to 7, he uses very strong language. So he's calling this mundane talk gossip as a prostitute. Why? Because prostitute, even though, in the night she may appear very nice, very pleasing, very serving and give you happiness, but in the morning what does she do? She vanishes. She vanishes, sometimes taking away your wealth. So that is the nature of a prostitute, because they're after your money. So like that, when you do this mundane talk, it also plunders. Plunders us of what? Of our intelligence. So that's why it's being compared with a Vesha. So just like prostitute takes away your wealth, and then this mundane gossip will take away your intelligence. So what kind of intelligence? This is called mati. What should we use our mati in? Putting it in Krishna, right? So we have to use our mati for spiritual intelligence, for putting it in Krishna. Instead of that, we are allowing it to be stolen by engaging in prajalpa. So what is this mati? Krishna bhakti rasa bhavita mati. Kriyatam yadi kutopi labhyate tatra laulyam api mulyam ekalam janma koti sukrutayna labhyate. So this mati is what? Krishna bhakti rasa bhavita mati. So this mati we should use in putting in Krishna bhakti. Rasa bhavita, that which gives us rasa, that which gives us bhava. So that is where our mati should be. Instead of doing this, then what are we doing? We are putting it in mundane gossip. So this mati, this rasa that gives is very, very difficult. I believe it takes millions of births to get this, bhakti rasa that we are aiming for. So don't put that intelligence in these things. So what does it do? It does sarvasya harini. So sarvasyam means everything. Harinchi kotanamata. So what happens? It will rob you of spiritual intelligence. So that little spiritual knowledge that we have, it becomes covered. Then it destroys this Krishna Bhakti Rasa Bhavita Mati. So the resolve we have. So what is this Mati? So we all want to progress in spiritually, right? So we are using our intelligence to do that. So that is Krishna Bhakti Rasa Bhavita Mati. That Mati, that resolve that we have in our mind will go away. So it will take away that resolve that we have. And it will also destroy that Bhakti Lata we are trying to grow, the Bhakti Lata beach that we are trying to grow with japa and watering, that will destroy. So this Prajalpa will destroy. And then when we keep on doing it, I believe, we also can go to an extent where we start blaspheming our spiritual master and Vaishnavas. So you have to be very careful, and eventually you will fall down from the path of bhakti. So that is what Mati Sarvasya Harini means. And this example Prabhuji was showing that, how from a negative we develop positive, right? Like a picture. So this is the negative, and it has silver bromide, and when you put some chemical, it develops into a photograph where this object which appears like a negative becomes a positive. So in our life, we have some samskaras, right? We have some vasanas from previous lives. So we are carrying in our subtle body, we are carrying various samskaras which may be positive and negative into this lifetime. And this prajalpa acts as that chemical. So when you put the chemical, how negative pictures becoming positive, like that, when we put this prajalpa or mundane gossip, these dormant samskaras that were in the subconscious mind now are going to come back up. Okay, so very dangerous. So reading, watching movies, reading useless novels, useless gossip, all this will reactivate your samsaras from subconscious mind. So I thought that was very strong. So that's why we should stop doing this. And the second thing he said was, Katha Mukti Vyagra Na Shrunu Kila Sarvatma Gilani. So Mukti. Now, second thing. So first thing, no Prajalpa. Second is, don't talk about Mukti, he says. And Mukti here is being compared with a tiger. So when you talk about liberation, or when you want liberation, it is like a tiger. Why? Because tiger, if you become friends with tiger, it will eat you. So like that, when you talk about liberation, it will actually eat your soul. So it is a spiritual suicide. If you want to become, if you want to merge in the Brahman, especially Sahajya Vimukti they are talking, if you want to merge in the Brahman, liberation, if you seek that, then it is spiritual suicide. Why? Because you don't want to remain a separate entity, you want to become one with Lord. So when do you have we are Krishna Das, right? So we have to serve. So is service possible with one entity? If you merge with God, is there opportunity for seva? No, right? So you are separate. You're separate entity. Only then you can serve the Lord. So the ones who want to have this Sayucha liberation, they say, is actually out of envy and they don't want to serve the Lord. So that's why it is a spiritual suicide. So we should not engage in this liberation. So discussion of mukti or merging into impersonal Brahman are like a ferocious tigress which devours everyone's soul. So then the desire to enjoy the material world and the desire to become liberated are like two witches. Okay, actually this picture they show. Okay, so there are two witches in our heart. One is the impersonal Brahman liberation and the other is the material enjoyment. So what are these two witches doing? They are sitting in our heart. So will Krishna come into that heart? No, right? Will we feel any transcendental bliss in that heart? We won't feel. So that's why those minds, if you want to absorb in Krishna, then having these two witches in your heart won't help. That's what Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu is saying. So this desire for liberation is completely to be shunned. Actually, our acharyas shun this liberation concept. And another thing why we should not think of liberation is, they say, suppose you're married, okay, you're newly married to somebody and they also tie or this thing. So you're promising that you'll be together. If suppose soon after marriage the wife will untie the knot and say, I want to be free, will that be acceptable? No, right? If the wife or husband wants to be free from each other, then there's no question of marriage. Like that, if you're thinking of your own freedom, what is liberation? Freedom, right? So if you're thinking of your own freedom, then there can't be love. So if you love Krishna, then we should not think of our own freedom. Simply put, that's why liberation is bad. Okay? And then there are 5 kinds of liberation. I won't go into detail. Then the third one is, then they say, this is also interesting. Api tyaktva lakshmi patiratim ito vyoma nayanim. So vyoma is vyoma nayani or Lakshmi Pati is Vishnu. So here Raghunanth Goswami is also saying, stop, don't be attached to Lakshmi Pati. Why? Why should we not be attached to Lakshmi Pati? It's Krishna only,
Form is different.
You will only go till Vaikuntha, you will not go to Goloka, you will not go to Goloka, you will only go till Vaikuntha.
Why Rajanandana? What is wrong with Vaikuntha Pati? You don't want to go to Vaikuntha? Nice opulence is there. Nice opulence is there. Nice thrones are there. Jewels are there. Nice facilities are there. Who wants to go to Vaikuntha? Nobody wants to go to Vaikuntha? Yeah. So, Vaikuntha Pati, one they say, if you want to go to Vaikuntha, there is, although you can go for 2 reasons. You want to go to Vaikuntha for 2 reasons. One is, yes, you love the Vishnu form of the Lord, you want to go. And then the other reason is, you want to enjoy the opulence along with Vishnu. So that subtle desire will be there. Even if you want to go for prema for Lord Vishnu, even in that there's a little bit of mixture of this wanting to enjoy the Vaikuntha. So that's why it is bad. So anya bilashata shunyam, right? Our prema should be without any desire. So here you want to enjoy the opulence along with Vishnu is also considered bad. So, and then like you said, yeah, if you worship Lakshmi Pati, then your destination is Vaikuntha. And if you worship Vraja Krishna, your destination is Vraja. Now what is beautiful about Vraja Bhakti as opposed to this attachment for Lakshmi Pati is, in Vaikuntha, the worship is with awe and reverence. Right? So there's this awe and reverence meaning a lot of respect for Vishnu. So when you have respect, it's not very intimate. Right? Whereas to Krishna, the love is very intimate. It is completely, the Vraja is completely devoid of any Aishwarya Bhav. So there is only pure, Madhurya in Vraja. There is no Aishwarya Bhav. And that's why Vraja is considered, so superior. The gopis, although, Vraja is rich. It's not like Vraja is very, shabby or anything. There is Chintamani, there's Kalpavruksha. But gopikas are not in Vraja because of the Chintamani or anything. They are there purely for the pleasure of Krishna. So to the point where after Rasalila, when Krishna disappears and gopis are searching for him, Krishna comes back in a 4-handed form. And then Gopika stop and ask, where is Krishna? So they completely refuse to accept the 4-handed Aishwarya form of Krishna. So they are looking for the 2-handed Shyamasundara. And of course when Radharani comes, because of her love, Krishna could not maintain the 4 hands, so the 2 hands melt and he becomes 2-handed Shyamasundara. So gopis give no importance to Aishwarya at all. So it does not matter to them at all, Aishwarya. In fact, they don't want to have that Aishwarya Bhav. So that is the difference. So Vaikuntha is awe and reverence. Aishwarya Bhav is there. So that intimacy is not there. Same thing, like they say, if the judge and office, even if we go family members, we are with awe and reverence. Like, we don't want to sit on top of his head. If I am visiting my father who's a judge, I'll be with awe and reverence. If the same father comes home, then I may sit on his head. So that intimacy is there. So like that, Raja Krishna gives you intimacy, and which is missing in Vaikuntha Bhava, and that's why they're saying give up attachment to Lakshmipati. Yeah, and then the destination will be Vaikuntha, and same thing in Mathura. Mathura Dwaraka Krishna is also awe and reverence is there, less than Vaikuntha, but it is there. So the only place where there is no awe and reverence is Vraja, and in Vraja also there is this deep intimacy is there, and then there's a lot of Madhurya. What are the 4 types of Madhurya that are there in Raja Krishna and not any other Krishna or Vishnu? What are the 4 things that are there? Venu Madhuri, Rupa Madhuri, Leela Madhuri. Rupa Madhuri, Venu Madhuri, Leela Madhuri. Yeah, so there are 4 things that are present exclusively in Vraja Krishna, in the Madhurya Bhav. So that is the, in fact, in Brihad Bhagavatamrita, Gopakumara goes to Vaikuntha, Mathura and Dwaraka, and he feels very uneasy because he likes to be in Vraja, so he doesn't like to be in that. So among the devotees, those whose hearts have been stolen by Nandanandana are the topmost. Among all the devotees of the highest prema, those whose hearts are stolen by Nandanandana are the topmost. And then for such devotees whose hearts are stolen by Nandanandana, even Lakshmipati Narayana cannot attract their minds. So, and then the ultimate climax of Prema Rasa is also found only in Mahabhava, which only happens in relation to Vrajendranam. It's very high. I don't want to go into the details of the details of this, but the Prema is very sweet in Vraja, to a point where Lakshmi Devi also tries to be part of Rasalila. Okay. Then also Haridas Thakur also explains in Padyavali, I have no use for talk about attaining the heavenly planets, what to speak of acquiring sovereignty over the entire earth. Even the names of Moksha and Lakshmi afford me no pleasure. My mind is captivated only by a cluster of bluish brilliance whose color resembles a young tamal tree and who graces the grove situated on the banks of Yamuna. So he's describing, Haridas Thakur is saying, even I don't want to have liberation, I don't want to worship Lakshmipati. All I care is this bluish boy who's in the tamal trees. And then this, what is this? Brahma Vimohan Leela. So why I put this is an example of how this pastime happened because Brahma was not willing to accept a non-Aishwarya Bhava of Krishna. So what happened when Brahma came, Krishna was sitting with his friends and eating his lunch. And then I think Subala has some buttermilk in his mouth and he was doing this. And then Krishna, beats his cheeks and the buttermilk that comes out he drinks. So this is usual for Gopas. So he gets so intimate with his friends. So when Brahma sees this, he thought this cannot be the absolute truth. This cannot be the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and that's why Brahma Vimohan Leela happens. So this is an example where it was difficult for Brahma to have the absolute personality in a non-Aishwarya Bhav. So I thought that was important also. So that's what Vraja allows. That's why Krishna, never leaves Vrindavan. And then, so Vraje Radha Krishna Swarati Manidau Tvam Bhajamam. So this Vraja Radha Krishna you should worship. So what do? Swarati Manidau. So why should we worship means it's a very rare thing. This Radha Krishna give the jewel of their own love to you. That's what they're saying. So we all have this Atmarati inside, right? That is covered, we said, that is covered. By worshipping Radha Krishna of Vraja, this covering will go away and our Atmarati that we have, love for Krishna, will be manifest. So I'll skip these and So this, by taking shelter and worshipping Vraja Radha Krishna, we get this love. But of course our endeavor should also be there to attract the mercy of the Lord. Yes. So I think verse 4 I'll stop. There are the rest of the verses we'll try to cover next class. So thank you very much. Yadatra skalitam kinchit vidvam sapurnayanti tat yadatra saushtavam kinchit tad guroreva menahi. So if you found any mistakes, I'm sure there are many. I'm so unqualified. I'm a student actually, reading simultaneously. So I thank Sri Liana Prabhu for giving me this opportunity to share. So any mistakes on my part, please correct. All of you are well read and well versed. But if there's anything that is delightful, anything that has helped you, it's all my Guru's mercy. Nothing is mine. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Any one or two questions I can take, or Prabhuji, if it's time, we'll. Oh, and we want to welcome Radhika Mataji, my dear friend from US. She's not here. Left, huh? Oh, okay, Prabhuji. So I'm done, Prabhuji, for today.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. One of the points you mentioned is mukti. Mukti is also not to be desired. So, going back to Goloka, should we not treat that as mukti, or mukti is something different? The ones that we talk about, the Sahityas, Namitya mukti, these are mukti we understand. But what about going back to Goloka? That should not be treated as mukti.
In typical sense, no, Prabhuji, it's not considered mukti. I mean, there are those Sarupya, Sarishti, and all are there. So you will be in association with the Lord and all. But that should not be the aim of our devotion service. Our aim should be only to do seva. In that process, if you're going to Goloka, yes, I mean you will. But in strict sense, it's not considered one of the 5 liberations.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. What is our object? Mukti is not our object.
Krishna Prema. Prema Pumarto Mahan. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says our goal is Prema Pumarto Mahan, to get the love of Krishna and serve them. That's our ultimate, the highest goal is Prema Pumarto Mahan. We should not even actually think, I want to go to spiritual world, I want to go Loka. We should attain Krishna Prema. If it is this world and Krishna wants us to stay here and come back many, many times to serve him, then we should be willing to. Just like Raghunanth Goswami says, if you want to take multiple births, you should, but the goal should be to serve them and attain their Prema. It's rare in one lifetime, it's rare, but it is possible. Prabhuji, Acharyas are saying that, if we follow these things, then you can achieve.
Does Sukriti leads to Raghunanth Bhakti anyway? I mean, in some cases.
If you associate with pure devotees who have Raganuga Bhakti, then yes. Actually, you should follow Acharyas who have Raganuga Bhakti to get Raganuga Bhakti.
So we just need to wait for that, right? We have to do sadhana bhakti and then wait for it. It's nothing like somebody, I will wait for it.
But Ruji, they say you have to understand that there's Ragamar, and what is the qualification for doing Raganuga Bhakti? One qualification for doing Raganuga Bhakti?
Should become a Rupanuga.
Yeah, but how will you become a Rupanuga?
Preeti.
Laulyam. Intense greed for becoming a Raganuga Bhakta. So that is the only qualification. So keep that greed. I want to worship Radha Krishna and Praja. I want to have this spontaneous attraction. So that greed is your qualification. And of course Krishna's mercy and Guru's mercy.
Does Kamarupa Bhakti leads to Sambandha Rupa Bhakti?
They are two separate, Mataji. Kamarupa Bhakti is like when it branches, Prema Bhakti. One is Kamarupa, one is Sambandha. It's a bifurcation there.
So that will not be.
Then you are already in the Prema stage. So it can happen both with Vaidhi and Raganuga. Yes, bro.
You mentioned about the aristocratic form of Vishnu basically. So I was talking to one of my friends, Sri Vaishnavas basically. They are also very focused. They can't basically, 1,000 sloka of lotus, sandal of Lord. So how we can understand, is there any differentiation, like here we are more close to Krishna and their devotion like Raghunanth, is it because they are more on that form? So is it how we understand this?
Yeah, Vijay, we should not be critical of their bhakti at all. If the form of Narayana or Vishnu attracts them, then yes, they can render devotional service to him, but their destination will be Vaikuntha. In our destination where we have attraction to Radha Krishna, our destination will be different.
But they are also worshipping Krishna, and like Arvat or like Vidal Desika, they are actually glorifying Krishna. So is there any differentiation that they are not glorifying Krishna, they are actually glorifying
They are not
glorifying, I mean, they are actually glorifying Krishna.
Is there any difference?
Sandal of Krishna or Lord basically. So their glorification is very intense basically. So I just want to understand, is that glorification is not Krishna's glorification, is a different forms of glorification basically they are doing?
Alvars you are talking about, Vijay.
Yeah, Alvar or Vidyan Dasi Desika and all basically.
If they are glorifying Krishna, then it's same, Vijay, same as I think. But yeah, anybody wants to answer this?
Not like the answer, I was trying to rephrase this question, but
Prabhu.
if you can clarify, Prabhu. Actually, what I read is that the Rajabhakti is different. Here also you are worshipping Krishna. For example, if you Mataji, correct my understanding. If you have seen what Mataji explained, Mataji was also talking about Brajendra Nandana Krishna, not even Dwaraka Krishna. So if you see the mood of Gaudiya Vaishnavas, they are more attracted to even Brajendra Nandana Krishna, not even Dwaraka Krishna or any other Krishna kind of a thing. So this path of Gaudiya Vaishnavas Bhakti is exclusive shelter towards the Ragatmaka Bhakti, towards the Radha and Krishna. So in the Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya you are talking about also, there is a love towards Krishna. But what my understanding, I wanted to be corrected, is that love of Krishna is also, they see him as a form of Vishnu. They see him as a Vaishnava form of Vishnu, so they see him as an avatar of Vishnu. They might develop that love for Krishna and they might talk about stories of Krishna, Bhagavatam. They also, because Bhagavatam is the official book of all the four Vaishnava Sampradayas. So their mood, whatever form of the Lord they worship, eventual path I understand is the Vaikuntha. In the Vaikuntha there are many multiple Vaikunthas which are formed. But the people who are following the Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, their exclusive path is towards Goloka Vrindavana, and they wanted to get connected to only to that form of Krishna, Vajendra Nandana Krishna, Shyamasundara Krishna, and look for a god to go to Goloka Vrindavana to do an exclusive shelter of service to Radha Krishna.
Yeah, yes, Ravi. I think the term exclusive important, Ravi. Here also, they are saying it's exclusive worship to Nandanandana. So if you are worshipping, the Vishnu form and Krishna form, then it is not so exclusive. So I think their destination may be a little bit more different. That one, Krishna wants one pointed focus, not multi-branched.
When it comes to Andal has a specific similar to Gopi Bhav. If you see the Alvar, they are also glorifying Krishna. In fact, Prabhupada said, we should not see, even going to Vaikuntha is the greatest. So, in our level, I think we should not be so interested in differentiating Vaishnava and Krishna. Everybody is glorious in their own path. Yes, they may have different rasas. Krishna is Rasaraj. He can be accommodated in different rasas. So, if their rasa is in Dasya, that is okay. Coming to that itself is the greatest for us, being a sadhana bhakti. So Prabhupada said we should not be bothered whether Krishna in Vaikuntha or Krishna in Vrindavan. Just if you are following sadhana bhakti, practically. Eventually, according to you, this not necessary that all God, I can be in that sabha. There's nothing wrong. So first we have to do sadhana. Eventually you will be able to attain whatever rasa is there for them. So we should be focused on the practice. The goal will eventually come. And more important, we should never differentiate any Vaishnavas. Now, we should compare two Vaishnavas. Mataji told. In fact, it is said that we should not even differentiate Vaishnavas and Vaishnavas. With our understanding, I think let's stick to understanding that everybody is, especially the four Vaishnavas, they are all glorious.
Yes, and like Mataji said, we should continue our sadhana bhakti. This is there to know. So we should continue our sadhana. That is primary. And then eventually it will evolve. What is our inclination towards what rasa and all will come later. But one is not superior or inferior to among the 4 rasas. One is not superior or inferior. So that inclination will come to later. But right now we have to continue our sadhana. That's most important.
You mentioned about Purna, Purnatama and
Hare Krishna Mataji. You mentioned about Purna, Purnatara and Purnatama, right? That is in which context, Mataji? You said that they have the energies of the Lord are not completely or completely manifested. So does that mean that Raja Krishna is Purnatama?
Purnatama, yes. So Krishna has multiple incarnations, right? Innumerable incarnations, and every incarnation can have varying potencies in varying degree, in depth and extent. So the potency can be different in depth and extent in each of the incarnations. But the Shyama Sundara Krishna is all potencies in full. That's why he is Purnatama, and that's why we are. Yeah.
Mataji, my question.
Hare Krishna.
Mike is coming, just lift the hand.
Hare Krishna Mataji, it was a wonderful session, Siksha. Actually, last week we heard about the different obstacles we get in our bhakti, and I was just having mananam on how can I overcome that, and it was very wonderful. You had a lot of context. Some of them I was in advanced level. I am still a beginner in bhakti, I must say. So somewhere you mentioned I am trying to focus on how to overcome Maya in everyday life. As a Mataji, and we are more connected with our family members and cooking and daily tasks, right? So how do we not get attached to our family? Think that see Krishna in our family members. That is my question.
Yeah. So Mataji, all inclinations we should spiritualize. So nothing wrong with loving your family and working for your family, but instead of suppose taking care of your child as though he is your child, then that I comes. You should take care of your children as Krishna's children. That Krishna sent you to take care of them. So like that, one by one, we should. Or you are cooking for yourself or for your family. You start cooking for Krishna. It's just a change in the inner inclination. Externally, you're doing the same thing. So your attachment will change. Your consciousness will change. So you cook for Krishna. You offer prasadam and then feed your family. So it's like that, slowly, you have to spiritualize all that is material in your life. Yes.
Pass the mic. Pass the mic.
Mataji, can you please open Krishna, Brahma? One slide is there, no? Yeah, this is the slide. So, somebody sitting around with the Krishna, right? No, that is what our object.
Gopis, Gopas, cowherd boys.
So ultimately, our object. So some goal should be there, no, Mataji. So you are saying Krishna Prema. So that those are the Vrajas, right, Mataji? So we should be part of that. So that is what our goal.
Yes, Prabhu. You can be part. That's our goal. True.
That is what the supreme goal. Right?
Yes.
We have to reach there.
In one of the 4 rasas, actually we were all there once. That's our original Swarupa. Now it's all covered. Now by doing this bhakti, that Swarupa has to come out. And then we will go back and do the same service again in our Siddha Deha. So we get another Deha there.
Yeah, that means we are traveling along with the Krishna.
Living and traveling.
Traveling.
I mean, traveling means right now, wherever Krishna goes, we also go along with Krishna. That is what this means.
That part I didn't understand, Prabhu. What do you mean by going with Krishna? Your consciousness should be in Krishna, wherever you go. Is that what you mean?
Participating in Krishna Lila, they have Krishna.
Yeah. Krishna, whenever he takes his
Yes.
orders. If he's calling you, Prabhu,
Please come.
Yes,
So we
yes,
like-
that's the goal. That's the goal. Yeah.
Even if it doesn't work, we will not get upset.
Thank you so much. Pancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhu devecha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Let us thank Miss Karuna Mataji with 3 loud enthusiastic. So, thank you Mataji for taking the patience of controlling the minds of people who are not willing to control their minds, but somehow we are stuck to control our minds. How many of you felt that until you came to ISKCON, you ever heard that we have to control our minds? Never, right? In fact, we are glorified for not controlling our minds. Right? We are glorified in our colleges that, oh, what a freak. Wild guy.
Wild guy.
Right? The more unpredictable we were, the more we were glorified. But after coming to ISKCON, realizing that being so did not make us achieve anything. Right? Now at least we should control our mind and try to achieve something higher. So, how fortunate are we in this situation? You know, if some of you are thinking that maybe I didn't understand a lot of it, right? At least we can understand that how fortunate are we. Right? That much we can understand. How fortunate are we? We are discussing a topic which is not even discussed outside. It is not even thought to be discussed outside. If we discuss this topic outside, they think that we are fools. We are mentally challenged people. That's what people think. You know? They're thinking, control your mind, this is what, that is what. But we know it. We know it. And such topics, if they're happening among us, that only means Krishna planned it. Chaitanya Charan Prabhu, what a beautiful thing. That's very hope-giving for me. Whenever I go through ups and downs, I just share that with you. He told that all of us are part of Krishna. You are agreeing?
Yes.
All of us are part of Krishna?
Yes.
You are really agreeing that?
Yes.
Come on, keep your hands on your heart and tell. Really you are part of Krishna or no?
Yes.
I was just telling it yes because...
No.
Huh?
No.
All of you are part of Krishna. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. How can you think that you are not part of his plan? Right? How can we even think that we are not part of his plan? That means we are not believing the first part, right? Is it a hope-giving statement? Yes. Yeah. Sometimes it takes a senior devotee to just pray that not that we only have created. We many times feel that, oh, this thing is happening in my life, that thing is happening in my life. Where are you, Krishna? But you are forgetting the first part, that you are part of his, you are part of him. So how can he allow us to be in a situation? How can he allow us to be in a situation which he doesn't want? It's not possible, right? He wants it. He wants us to be in some situation. And that is the reason we are in that situation. And he wants Manas Siksha to be taught to all of us. So he is making it happen. This was not a planned session. I didn't plan it. She didn't plan it. Mother didn't plan it. Right? He planned it. He planned it. We should have that faith. We should have that faith. He planned it. And when he planned it, and when he planned it, right, we should be very respectful and attentive towards it. Because he's planning it in spiritual life, everything is being planned by God, no? So we should be very, very. Sorry. When it is stuck, it doesn't come up yet. And when he is planning it, we should be very, very attentive towards it. Otherwise, we'll miss the boat. We'll simply miss the boat. You, like Mataji beautifully told, you are sitting in Radha Kund, but you will go to Naraka Kund, something like that Mataji told. Right? You can be here, but you are not here. Right? Make notes. Is making notes a good thing? Yes. But don't make notes to share. The moment you get into the tendency of making notes to share, that means you don't care. As simple as that. It will not go inside. It will just go to somebody else. How many of you here keep your hands on your heart and tell me, every time you got notes of some devotee, you kept everything aside and read it? None of us. Appreciated. He wrote notes. But did we read it? Then whom are you making notes for? Make notes for yourself. Our acharyas also made notes. Make it for yourself. Don't send. If you don't send, they'll go inside. If you send, they'll go outside. Let somebody else decide to send. Somebody else will call you and tell, Prabhu, did you make notes? Send it. I want to send it. That's okay. But when you're I'm telling you the way mind plays. Mind can trick you that you are making notes, but the notes will not enter your mind because you never allowed them only. What is going on here? You are only making notes because you want to finish something and mind is tricking you that you finish that thing, but don't allow it to go inside. Right? I'm telling you, mind is playing with me. I know every day it plays with me. Every moment it plays with me. But only by devotee association and classes like this, we have an opportunity to catch it. Right? So be very attentive and very respectful. Hare Krishna, can somebody stop that child? Yeah. Mind is like that small child which doesn't settle down anywhere. That is how mind is. Right? And, I'll tell you, when a speaker is giving a class, like I pray that someday His Holiness Badrinarayan Swami Maharaj should come here. You don't know him. He's a Prabhupada disciple. When he is giving a class, if he hears a single sound, he'll simply ask, can you please leave? Can you please leave? He says it. Why is he saying? Is he disrespectful? You think a sannyasi is disrespectful? No, because he knows the power of mind. If a Mataji is sitting with small child in the front, he will tell, Mataji, can you please go behind? Because he is trying to deliver all of us, but our mind wants to get distracted. Mind will play. And acharyas know. And acharyas will tell, sit behind. So nobody will get distracted. Right? There are so many things, even in the class, and even in our behavior, even in our making notes. Prabhus and Matajis, this whole exercise that we are doing in this room is completely being planned by Krishna, and we have to take 100% benefit out of it. Otherwise, this will be one other class. I have attended, IPN Prabhuji. And after some time, what will come? Why such a long class? Why so many classes? Why all these complaints are coming? Because you never heard the class. If you hear the class, automatically you will get attraction towards more classes. Everybody who heard Bharat Bhagavatamrita attentively by Gauranga Darshan Prabhu is waiting for the second part. Will wait for the second part. And not just wait as in wait. They'll come and ask me, Prabhu, Eppudu Prabhu next? Eppudu Prabhu next? Right? That will naturally be seen. Right? You want to hear more. You will hear more when you're actually hearing. You will not want to hear more when you're not hearing. It's very subtle. Huh? Actually, Mataji is dealing with a very advanced topic. And I heard Siksha a little bit, Mataji, but you are going really amazingly well. Sorry I had to walk out today for some important reason, but I will hear the recording. So, but please, everybody, let's take these special sessions from devotees when they come with most utter importance and a lot of respect that it is being planned by Krishna. Okay, having said that, there are a lot of lessons even I am learning every single day. So I want to share some good things, some good things because of our services. We are getting some good things. So His Grace Gauranga Darshan Prabhu has agreed to come back. Right? And the dates are also frozen. Because of our attentive audience that he has got. And they are sadhus. They will know. When even one devotee is sitting there who is eager to hear, they'll come for that one devotee. Don't think they're coming for 50 people here. Even if one devotee is actually eagerly sitting there to hear, they'll come. And he said that, I'm seeing many such devotees here and I want to come. Right? So out of his busy schedule, which he travels like almost 70% outside India, 30% inside India, and he manages many camps, so many things that is booked. You know what? Prabhuji just kept his calendar. We were sharing the screen. I said, Prabhu, you select the dates you want me to be here. I was overwhelmed. Hare Krishna, this is too much. Right? That means he wants it. Krishna wants it. Right? And he said, and while going, he said, that last chapter of Brihad Bhagavatam, the part 1, I didn't do justice because Krishna is going to glorify gopis and had to just push it through. And his next trip was supposed to be for 6 days, 6 or 7 days, right? So I requested Prabhuji that, Prabhuji, can you do that last part once again, to the fullest of your, what you want to give, right? And he said, yes, I will do in 2 sessions, 2 hours each, right? So 4 hours of the last part where Krishna goes into the, the other Vrindavan and he gets up from the sleep and the way glorifies, right? And then, and just when I called that very day, it's a coincidence that he finished the Shubhodini of the first part. He finished it and sent it for printing. So he told, Prabhu, today only I sent and you're calling me today, like the first part has gone. And the second part is going to start when he comes here, right? He'll finish the first part, last 2 sessions, and he'll start the second part also. Second part is even more advanced. Lot more advanced, and it takes lot more time also. So he gave 9 days exclusively for all of us. 9 days, right? That is the journey of Gopakumara. The journey of Gopakumara. It's a very advanced topic, but he kept one condition for him to come the second time. I told you everything, but now I'm telling you the condition. Do you want to know the condition? Huh? Are you ready to fulfill that condition? Huh? Already try bol rahe hain pe. So already ud gaya condition. Hare Krishna. Prabhu, a devotee is wanting to come and do something. Can't we fulfill his one condition? He's not going to ask her money or he's not going to ask her.
Yes, we'll do the best.
He told, all of you should buy Brihad Bhagavatamrita and completely read the first part before he comes here.
Okay.
That is the condition he kept. So he finished the first part. He wants you to, I'll tell you, March 13th or 14th. Yeah. March 13th or 14th he'll be here. And this time it's going to be longest stay in Hyderabad, 15 days. 15 days. He is only merciful for us to pull that kind of schedule. Right? And he is happy. I was very happy. I celebrated that moment with him. Yes, he got it. Okay. So, are we ready for it? We have exactly 3 months. Almost 2.5 months. Right? It's a 3-part book. Please purchase it. You can purchase it online also. Brihad Bhagavatamrita. Buy it. Gopi Pardana Prabhu. Please buy it and read your own reading. If you want to create a study circle, you can create it. But that is his request. And when he comes here, and we all lift the hand saying that, Prabhu, we finished as per your condition, he'll be very happy. You want to please the Vaishnava? Yes or no? Yes, Hare Krishna. So let us do that. Even I am going to do my reading. I'll keep that book now. I'll keep my CC that I'm doing. I'll keep that aside. I'll take that. And in 2.5 months, we can finish the one book. It's very straight. It doesn't have too many big purports, but it is. Why is he asking us to do? Yes, Mataji?
We're already doing in Sakhi Sangha.
You're already doing. Sakhi Sanghas are very, at the next phase. We are not Sakha Sanghas. That is the problem. So, we can finish it. Let's finish that. And why is he asking us to do? Any reason? What is the reason that comes to your mind? Why is he asking us to finish reading it before he comes? Because we are completely conscious in the same way when we start it again. Right? He wants us to be in that journey of Narad Muni until he comes. Right? And we finish that journey, so we continue that journey from there. Prabhuji and Mataji, the senior devotees, when they do something, they actually are well-wishers. They have nothing, no ulterior motive. Right? How many expected this condition until I told? Nobody, right? So because our minds are like that. We will not think. We are from software industry. That is a problem. Crooked minds, they'll think some nonsense only will think. Right? That is what the session, right? Manas Siksha. If our Manas Siksha would have been proper, we would have first guessed that only. Right? But we will not guess that. But senior devotees think like that. So Prabhuji is going to come. He is going to take Gopakumara in 9 sessions. In 9 sessions is Gopakumara. And if it is not getting over, then you know what we will do. It shifts to the evening also. Right now it's only mornings, right? And he has also given us the liberty to add some community programs. Whichever community has not come is the first preference community. Whether it is Telugu or English, we will try to plan.
Can you give the opportunity for
Yes, of course. Why not? Yeah. So that is the announcement on Gaurang Darshan Prabhu's trip to Hyderabad. Now there is one more announcement. Is that Satya Prabhu requested Gaurang Darshan Prabhu if we can go to Naimisharanya, right? In a yatra to Naimisharanya. The very place Bhagavatam was re-spoken by Sutta Goswami, right? Naimisharanya is not the place where Sukadeva Goswami spoke to Parikshit Maharaj. Sutta Goswami repeated that to all the rishis. So Naimisharanya is a place I have not gone. I don't know how many here have gone to Naimisharanya. You already gone to Naimisharanya. Okay, so you can come again. Okay, but we all can go, and it is a great endeavor if we have 7 days sapta in Naimisharanya by one of the best speakers on the planet of Bhagavatam, the Dean of Bhaktivedanta University, Gaurang Darshan Prabhu. But 4 days is what I am looking at. 4 days, right? So the planning work will start. So 1 day to go, 4 days in Naimisharanya, 1 day to come back, something like that. Total 6 days plan. It is going to be between April 22nd to April 30th. April 22nd to April 30th. Whoever can come, can come. Many others, Praveen Prabhu is planning a yatra to Vrindavan. Many are going in that. I'm sure, 2 back-to-back yatras you can't have unless you can take your boss on the second yatra. Right? That is not going to happen. So plan what best we can do. We want to get the numbers. We are not looking at a big yatra. 100 people come, great. Don't want it to cross 100 also, because again, our consciousness will go around managing the fans and the rooms and the ACs and the water than hearing the Bhagavad Katha. Right? So let us keep it sweet and even if one of the family members wants to come, they can still plan so. So that is from April 22nd to April 30th. Okay, that exact dates. So I've requested Satya Prabhu, he'll take a lead on that. Harshal Prabhu, you can support him, right? There is a lot of research that will be done. It will be peak summer. So congratulations. So good thing we will not go out shopping in Naimisharanya. We'll stick in the place where we are and we'll do the main purpose for which we are going there. Right? We'll hear the katha. Right? 1 session in the morning, 1 session in the evening. So 4 days, 8 sessions. So still the sapta is happening. Right? Sapta plus 1. Right? So that much is happening. So you all can plan. And Jan 28th to February 3rd, His Grace Chaitanya Charan Prabhu is coming. Right? Now, when did I get the opportunity to plan for these dates with Chaitanya Charan Prabhu? In July. Right? So that is how much it takes to get the dates of senior devotees. Don't think that, we call and, they are available, they'll come. No, it doesn't work like that. 6 months of planning in advance brings a senior devotee like that here, and he's coming to give us something really, really high. So he's writing a book on Ramayana. So there are 4 important aspects of Ramayana he's covering. Right? So 4 sessions he's going to take in the evenings. In different places. So we are scheduling those places. I've already sent a message in the DCS group, Devotee Care Servant group, and some of you already opted. And in the mornings, what is he going to do? So in the mornings, he's going to take some very special sessions, 5 session series. Once again. It will be on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Monday and Tuesday. And next Wednesday is gone. So again, I request, I know, for some of you it's possible, some of you are not. But whoever is possible, please come in the mornings. And whoever is not possible, please hear a recording. Right? So he's going to take 5 sessions in the mornings. It will be on, what is that, Marketeer? Markine Bhagavad Dharma. I always keep misspelling it, forgive me for that. So they are special verses written by Srila Prabhupada for all of us. How, in what consciousness we should accept Krishna consciousness and share Krishna consciousness. Very special lessons given by Prabhupada. Very rarely given seminar on the planet. And we are fortunate enough that he has decided to give. Right? So every day he'll cover three verses and he'll explain very beautifully. So don't miss those 5 sessions in the morning and don't miss those evening sessions wherever they're happening. Right? He's going to cover one aspect, one aspect of Ramayana. Sundara Kanda is going to speak about 2 hours. Right? Abduction of Sita is one session. And Vali and Sugriva misunderstanding is one session. And Ram leaving to Vanvas in the beginning is one session. So there are some exclusive parts he's going to take and he's going to go in depth into that. And he's written a book on that. And we will get a lot of benefit from that. Are you all excited? Haribol, Haribol. So I talked about Chaitanya Charan Prabhu coming and taking the sessions. And I talked about Gaurang Darshan Prabhu coming back to give Brihad Bhagavatamrita. And the Naimisharanya Yatra I talked about. On 24th, 25th and 26th, we are doing a big festival, Hare Krishna festival in the new Cyberabad land. So there is going to be a lot of discussion that will start now, right? And we'll be telling what all services are there. So 3 days festival. First day, 24th evening, Saturday evening, is always Indraduni Maharaj is coming with his entire entourage, and they're going to do amazing kirtan on the stage. We are building the stage right now. In Cyberabad, we are building the stage. The stage will remain forever. And any big concerts, any big kirtans will happen on that stage. So we're already creating the temporary structure which will remain for years to come. So that's a big event that's going to happen. All of you, please be there. Please be there on 24th. And 25th, we're going to do Srinivasa Kalyanam. We will send, the brochure of who all want to participate. You can register for that and start the year by Srinivasa Kalyanam. What other best activity can you do, right? So you all can register, sit in the yajna and do the Srinivas Kalyana. Multiple families will have the opportunity to do that. So we'll let you know. It will not be huge expense. Whatever is the expense, we'll let you know and you can be part of it. You can register for that so that we get the registration soon. So expect that coming your way. And it will be in the evenings. All the 3 programs maybe the Kalyana will happen in the morning, but remaining 2 will be in the evenings. 26th evening, we are doing, a very youth kirtan festival, right? So it will be starting from 5 o'clock in the evening and go till 9 in the evening. So we have amazing kirtaniers, Mataji's children, your whole group is there. Everybody will get 15 minutes slot and you can rock, right? So we're going to keep big banners of it across the entire Cyberabad, from Narsingi to, Patancheru, from Kollur to Miapur. Everywhere we are going to do a lot of publicity, and you can also encourage people to come. And these days even youth are seeing this as an opportunity to explore, is seeing some nice musical kirtan concert, right? That's exactly what we are planning. So 24th, 25th, 26th are going to be very busy days for us, and before that there will be a lot of prep activity. And the 3D diagrams and 3D model of the entire temple are almost done. They are just about to be released. So as soon as they come, we'll call you for another meeting. Many of you can come and participate, where you'll actually see the whole temple, the way it's going to look like. Almost 90%, you'll see the temple it is, the way it is, right? The whole 3 temples that we're building in this, ISKCON Cyberabad. So after that, we'll get nice brochures, we'll get the nice 3D model, and then we start the fundraising, right? And then there are so many people who will come along and surprise us that they were waiting to do this. So we only have to be an instrument in doing so. So this is a January festival, and I talked about Gaurang Darshan Prabhu coming, Chaitanya Charan Prabhu coming, Naimisharanya. There's one more thing I forgot. Yeah. Huh? GV Yatra? Yeah, we'll discuss that a little later, because that's something that I have to still plan. But there is one more amazing thing that's happening. Me and Makarand Prabhu, we both are planning, and it's almost finalized. Speaker is coming. That Vishwarup Prabhu is coming to give us a 6-session series, right, on Braja, complete Braja pastimes of Krishna. You can't get a better speaker on the planet to speak in Hindi. In Hindi. Yeah. That's still not finalized. Don't clap. Don't clap. That's still not finalized. But he's going to speak. But he loves to speak in Hindi because Braj means you have that slang of Hindi that goes along, right? So you have 6 months to learn Hindi. So whoever knows Hindi is good, fortunate. Whoever doesn't know Hindi, we have teachers, Surbi Mataji, Puna Mataji, they can teach. So please call them and they'll take lessons on Hindi. Subara Prabhu. Yeah. Oh my God. This is what I forgot. Okay. I'm ending with this. So Prabhuji and Mataji, 7th of Jan onwards, we have Sanskrit lessons starting every Wednesday from 8 to 8:30. Every Wednesday from 8 to 8:30. They're free. They're being taught by a person named Mohan Prabhu. He's a very senior, almost 75 years old. And he comes to our satsang in Mayung Krishi. And he's a MA in Sanskrit. And he's very, very knowledgeable. He has done a lot of Sanskrit work. He said, as a service to Krishna, I want to teach all of you Sanskrit. Right? Service to Krishna. All he wants is attentive audience, sincere attentive audience. 2 books. So buy 2 books. 1 to take notes, 1 to do homework. He is very clear. I'll teach if people are serious and nice, right? So 8 to 8:30 every Wednesday, you have to log into Zoom and he will teach you and he'll tell you how to learn Sanskrit. And he told, if you sincerely attend this 1 year, in 1 year, you will actually converse in Sanskrit. You can literally speak like these announcements in 2026 I'll be doing in Sanskrit. It's possible. And why it is important is we can recite the shlokas properly. Right? We can make Prabhupada proud that yes, we are reciting the shlokas properly and we are able to understand. Don't think Sanskrit is devotion, but Sanskrit can be helpful in devotion. Right? So please volunteer and I'll ask Vamsi Prabhu, who is not here today, but Harshal Prabhu, can you remind him to send the message again in all the groups to register? Only serious people register, and once you register, stick to it. 8 to 8:30. Okay? Okay. Any other announcement that you want me to do that I missed out? I know. Next week, I will not be here. I'm called to, sorry Mataji, but we'll record. I want to hear the recording. Second part. But some of us, me, my wife and Balwan Prabhu, we are going to Pune. It's an important event we have to attend there. So we'll not be here, but please come to the class with the same enthusiasm and hear the Manas Siksha. It's a great opportunity. We're grateful to you, Mataji, taking the effort. Mataji, she is a doctor, but I also know she has little back pain, but she was sitting there without back support. I was wondering what to do, but thank you, Mataji, for extending yourself. Yeah?
It happened. No back pain.
No back pain? Hare Krishna. Hari Bol. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki, Manas Siksha ki, Karuna Radhika Mataji ki, Nitai Gaur Premanande. Namaste Narasimhaya. Prahlad Lad Daine. हिरण्य काशी पूर्वक्षः चिलकंकान कालाये इतो नरसिंहो परतो नरसिंहो यतो यामि ततो नरसिंहो बहिर्नरसिंहो हृदये नरसिंहो नरसिंहामधिं शरणं प्रपद्ये